Chapter 142. Yin Capital Drill Ground. The ground was paved with white stones and surrounded by high walls. Inside the walls was a huge drill ground. There were 5 different types of armor on the drill ground. They stood behind the 5 forces. In the north, Yin Emperor sat on the dragon throne in his dragon robe. Beside him stood a group of Yin state officials. In front of him was a large amount of delicious food and wine. However, no one was in the mood to pay attention to the fine wine. Instead, they were anxiously looking at the center of the drill ground. In the center of the drill ground, there were 2 powerhouses fighting each other. Red and blue light bloomed from their bodies. The battle was fierce, and there was no clear winner. On the east side, there was another force. Among them was Zheng's exalted priest Lu Gang. Clearly, this party was Zheng's representative. One of them wore a 4-clawed dragon robe. He was the crown prince of the state of Zheng. However, the crown prince of the state of Zheng did not seem to be the leader of this group. Lu Gang sat next to the crown prince of the state of Zheng. Lu Gang, on the other hand, was talking to a middle-aged man. "Third senior brother, I heard that you've reached the Qi state." Lu Gang whispered. "That's right. A few months ago, when you and Master went to the Feng Shui array, I reached the Qi state. The Qi state feels different." The middle-aged man said proudly. "That's right. Third senior brother is a genius. I've admired you for a long time. If there's anything I don't understand in the future, please enlighten me." Lu Gang said, "Ha, we're brothers. That's what I should do." The third senior brother said with satisfaction, "I heard that senior brother has 2 great demon pets. One of them is this 3-color divine bull. It has boundless strength and boundless power. It's several times stronger than my previous demon snake." Lu Gang looked at the giant bull behind him and said, "Your demon snake? Hiss, how can it compare to my sacred bull? Although we're both in the Qi state, 10 demon snakes are no match for my sacred bull." The third senior brother said disdainfully, That's right. And I heard that there's another demon pet. It's actually a rare flying demon beast. Even eldest senior brother is endlessly envious." Lu Gang exclaimed, Ha, that's right. Eldest senior apprentice brother's strength is stronger than mine. But in terms of demon pets, I'm indeed endlessly envious every time I see my bat god. Third senior apprentice brother said complacently, "Where is bat god?" Lu Gang asked. "I ordered it to look for food. Don't worry about it." Third senior brother smiled. Third senior brother's demonic beasts can be raised at will. It can be seen that third senior brother's ability to enslave demonic beasts has reached the acme of perfection. No one under Master's tutelage can surpass him. Lu Gang continued to flatter. Ha. Third senior brother was elated. As Lu Gang fawned on third senior brother, he looked at the center of the field. Speaking of which, the game between the 5 nations this time is a little different from what I imagined. Third senior brother looked at the battle in the center of the field and said in a deep voice, "Oh, why does third senior brother say that?" Lu Gang asked doubtfully. "I originally wanted to see that little bastard Yin Chuan. Unfortunately, he's not here." Third senior brother said regretfully, "Well, maybe he doesn't dare to come." Lu Gang smiled apologetically. "Also, didn't you say that the consecrators of each country are all in the Qi state? Why are there so many in the Qi state? Yin state has 3, Korea has 8, Chu state has 7, and Wei state has 8? Third senior brother asked doubtfully. "Them? They're the same as me. That day, they were brought into the Feng Shui formation by the ancestors of each dynasty. These people are also very lucky." When the dragon Qi finally erupted, it turned into thousands of small dragon Qi. These people may have gotten a share of it, so they're very lucky. Chapter 143. They have all reached the essence state. Lu Gang said after thinking for a while. So many essence state cultivators. It seems like Yin Emperor is going to have a headache." Third senior brother laughed. With Yin Tao dead, the Yin state is already at the end of its road. It's futile to struggle. Lu Gang glanced at Yin Emperor in disdain. The people of Zheng looked on coldly. The crown princes of Wei, Chu, and Han, as well as a group of experts, were seated on the east side, the west side, and the west side respectively. Everyone was staring at the battle in the center of the field. Boom! With a loud sound, the battle stopped abruptly. One person stood proudly in the center of the field, while the other person fell to the ground, covered in blood and unable to continue fighting. Old Zhang, Yin Emperor's expression changed. The two people beside him quickly went forward and helped the injured old Zhang up. The injured person stood up and said with shame, Yin Emperor, I'm useless. It's not your fault. Yin Emperor sighed. Take consecrated Zhang away to rest. Yin Emperor sighed. Yes. Consecrated Zhang lost. The other person returned to the west side. Yin Emperor 20 cities. I thank Emperor Yin on behalf of my father, and thank you on behalf of Great Chu. The Crown Prince of Chu said with a smile. Yin Emperor looked at the Crown Prince of Chu with a gloomy face. He clenched his fists. Yin Emperor, every 20 years, the 5 countries have a game of chess. We don't fight each other on the battlefield. It's a tradition. In the past, there were victories and losses, but this time, Yin State's luck is not good. The Crown Prince of Chu said with a smile. Not good? Not necessarily. It should be good luck. A Crown Prince on the west side laughed. Oh, Crown Prince of Han? Why do you say that? The Crown Prince of Chu was puzzled. Yin State has 212 cities. Losing to us 20 cities per dynasty is only 80 cities. The Yin State still has 132 cities. The Crown Prince of Han said with a smile. Huh. Everyone looked at the Crown Prince of Korea in confusion. The Crown Prince of Korea stared at Yin Emperor and said, Yin Tao is already dead, and the Yin State has already lost the protection of the Immortal sections. How can it be compared to our 4 dynasties? This time we only lost 80 cities. This is the Yin State's great fortune, isn't it? That's right, we only lost 80 cities. Yin Emperor should be glad that we didn't bet too much at the beginning. On the other side, the Crown Prince of Wei Kingdom also agreed. Oomph. Yin Emperor was so angry that his face turned green. 80 cities, 80 cities. Almost half of the Yin State had been lost in the past 2 days. Bastard, the Crown Prince of my dynasty has already entered the Celestial Sect. Who said that the Yin State does not have the protection of the Celestial Sect? A consecrator beside the Yin Emperor shouted. Yin State's Crown Prince? Just entered the Immortal Sect? Ha ha ha. Consecrator Wong, don't you know? The people of the Celestial Sect in the cultivation world pursue immortality. They don't care about the affairs of the mortal world, unless they are related by blood. Only then will they take care of their descendants. The Yin State's Crown Prince. Master Z is powerful, but so what? Will he help you to guard the country of Yin? The only thing you can wait for is for the Yin State's Crown Prince to mature. But he is just a mortal. Do you think it is possible for him to become an expert in such a short time? The Crown Prince of Korea said disdainfully. Yin Emperor stared at everyone, clenching his fists tightly. I, Yin Shuyu, will abide by the rules of the 5 nations for hundreds of years. I will hand over the 80 cities as promised. The 5-nation talk is over. Everyone can leave now, Yin Emperor said with an ugly expression. Leave? Ha ha ha. Yin Emperor, it's over just like that? Lu Gang suddenly interrupted. Lu Gang? What do you mean? Yin Emperor said in a deep voice. Chapter 144. Nothing much. I just wanted to remind you that according to the agreement of the 5 states, if you lose, you can apply for a duel again. You can bet back. Lu Gang laughed. Yes, you can challenge us again. We are always ready. The Chu Crown Prince shouted. That's right. 80 cities. You don't want to bet back? The Crown Prince of Han laughed. I haven't had enough yet. At worst, we can bet less. Anyway, your Yin State has a lot of cities. If you lose them in the future, you might as well lose them today. Ha ha. The Crown Prince of Wei laughed. You're going too far. Yin Emperor slapped the dragon throne and scolded. Ka ka ka. The Yin State army raised their weapons. Yin Emperor, what are you trying to do? If you dare to attack us, you will be betraying the agreement. Our 4 states will attack your Yin State and completely destroy your Yin State. The Crown Prince of Zheng glared. That's right. If I lose a single hair, I will bury the Yin State with me. The Crown Prince of Chu scolded. Yin Emperor, you can't. The subordinates stopped the angry Yin Emperor. Yin Emperor glared and suppressed the anger in his heart. He slowly sat down again. Ha ha ha, Yin State? The former leader of the 5 states. Yin State? You can't even find someone you can use. Let me tell you, Consecrated Zhang, who lost to us just now, has already joined Chu. The Crown Prince of Chu sneered. What? Yin Emperor's eyes widened. Not far away, Consecrated Zhang, who was just brought down and covered in blood, suddenly stopped and turned his head. Crown Prince Chu, didn't you promise me that you won't say anything? Consecrated Zhang said with an ugly expression. What are you afraid of? Follow me from now on. You are a citizen of Chu. Who dares to touch you? The Crown Prince of Chu said proudly. But Sai, all right. Consecrated Zhang nodded. Old Zhang you. Yin Emperor stared at Consecrated Zhang in disbelief. Yin Emperor, you're very good to me, but the Yin State's power is gone. I've already reached the Essence Realm and will need to develop further in the future. Prince Chu said that he would introduce me to their old ancestor. I'm sorry. Consecrated Zhang smiled bitterly. Traitor, traitor! Yin Emperor shouted. Consecrated Zhang ignored him and walked towards Crown Prince Chu. His injury seemed to have healed in the blink of an eye. Clearly, the injuries just now were all fake. Ha! Yin Emperor, do you still want to continue? Is there anyone in your Yin State who can compete with me? The Chu Crown Prince laughed. Your Majesty, I will fight it out with them. Your Majesty, I will fight it out with them. Your Majesty, please give the order. I'll do it. Some of the old officials of the Yin State asked to fight, but these old officials had white eyebrows and hair. How could they have the strength to fight? Yin Emperor closed his eyes, and a trace of sadness flashed across his face. Ha! The Crown Princes laughed proudly. In the past, the 4 countries were suppressed by the Yin State. Now, the tables were turned. Even in the Yin State's home ground, Yin Emperor was suppressed by them. Are you going to compete or not? Yin Emperor, say something. The Crown Prince of Korea said sarcastically. Yeah, say something. Ha! Today, the Yin State was humiliated, but Yin Emperor couldn't do anything. He was very depressed. Some of Great Yan's officers and soldiers even secretly wiped away their tears. The hatred of national humiliation was like the hatred of stealing one's wife. But they couldn't do anything about it. How sad. Suddenly, the sound of a large number of horses came from outside the drill ground. Everyone looked at the gate of the drill ground in confusion. Boom! The gate was slammed open. A large amount of smoke and dust rose. Nay! A series of hoarse neighs pierced the sky. The smoke and dust dissipated. A large group of embroidered uniform army rode in. Yin Chuan rode in the front and slowly came over. His eyes were shining as he looked at the group. The soldiers followed closely behind. Each of them was full of vigor and battle intent. Who are you? Don't you know where this place is? The Crown Prince of Chu shouted. Chapter 145. Boom! The door was slammed open. Large amounts of smoke and dust were stirred up. Shoo! A series of hoarse neighs pierced through the clouds. The smoke and dust dispersed. A large group of soldiers from the embroidered uniform army entered on horseback. Yin Chuan rode at the front, slowly approaching. His eyes shone brightly as he surveyed the group of people. The group of soldiers followed closely behind. All of them were brimming with vitality and battle intent. Who are you? Don't you know where this place is? The Crown Prince of Chu shouted. Yin Emperor, what do you mean? Who are they? Don't tell me you want to go back on your word. The Crown Prince of Han said coldly. Yin Emperor frowned and looked at this group of people. The group of Yin State experts all looked on in confusion. They seemed to have guessed something, but they were not sure. Only Lu Gang of the state of Zheng narrowed his eyes. Ha! Isn't this the Yin State's emperor equal to the emperor? You're finally willing to come out? Lu Gang said coldly. Emperor equal to the emperor? Yin Tao's son? Yin Chuan? The group of crown princes all revealed surprised expressions. They all carefully sized up Yin Chuan, who was sitting on the tall horse. Emperor equal to emperor? Some of the mighty ones from the Yin State showed a glimmer of hope. But soon, this glimmer of hope disappeared. After all, the emperor was only a 17-year-old boy. This group of embroidered uniform army, is it the Lord Protector Battalion? What was the point of coming here now? Yin Emperor frowned and looked at Yin Chuan. He didn't know why Yin Chuan was here. Yin Chuan's gaze swept across the area. He paid some attention to the three-color divine bull and glanced at Lu Gang's third senior brother, who was calmly drinking. After taking a look at the heads of the 5 nations, his gaze finally landed on Yin Emperor. Yin Xiuyu, why didn't you inform me about the 5 Nations Summit? Yin Chuan asked calmly. Huh? The 4 princes were slightly stunned. Calling Yin Emperor by his name? It wasn't just the people from the 4 nations. Even the experts from the Yin state were frowning at this moment. However, their anger disappeared in the blink of an eye. This was because in the Yin state, Yin Chuan was indeed qualified to address the Yin Emperor as Yin Xiuyu. His status was equal to that of the Yin Emperor. Naturally, he would address the Yin Emperor by his name. 300 years ago, Yin Tao abdicated his position to ancestor Yin Di. If it weren't for the fact that Yin Chuan had the status of Emperor equal to 1, he should still be Emperor, Yin Emperor Senior. However, because of his status as Yin Emperor's equal, Yin Emperor could absolutely accept Yin Chuan calling him by his name. I thought I could solve it. Yin Emperor smiled bitterly. It doesn't matter. What's the result now? Yin Chuan didn't want to dwell on this matter anymore. Result? Your Yin state lost 80 cities to our 4 nations. You're late. The Chu prince laughed. No, it's useless even if I'm early. The Korean prince said disdainfully. Yin Chuan smiled faintly. Late? Who said I'm late? As long as none of you leave, it's not late. Oh? You still want to bet? The Korean prince's eyes lit up. Yes, if you want to bet, you can continue. As long as you can represent the Yin state. The Chu prince said excitedly. The princes went to the Yin state today, and they also contributed to their respective nations. The more cities they obtained, the greater their contributions when they returned. Yin Chuan ignored the princes and looked at Lu Gang. Consecrator Lu, we meet again. Yin Chuan smiled. Yes, we meet again. Lu Gang also said coldly. Last time in the array, Zheng lost 42 cities to me. Did you give it back? Yin Chuan asked with a smile. Chapter 146. Everyone looked at Lu Gang. Why does Zheng owe Yin state cities? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? How is that possible? Yin state is already at the end of its rope, and you still want to owe me 42 cities. Lu Gang said angrily. Lu Gang, think carefully before you speak. You didn't agree to give us 42 cities. If you dare to go back on your word, you'll be smearing King Mai's reputation. Do you dare to go back on your word? Yin Chuan glared at him. Do you dare to go back on your word? Yin Chuan emphasized those words. It was as if a sledgehammer was smashing down on Lu Gang. Lu Gang opened his mouth to argue, but when the words reached his mouth, he restrained himself. It's fine. The game between the 5 nations isn't over yet. Let's continue. You can bet your way back. Yin Chuan said with a smile. Is that true? The Chu Crown Prince looked at Lu Gang in surprise. Zheng owes Yin state cities? How is that possible? The Korean Crown Prince was also surprised. Lu Gang's face turned red, but he didn't refute. Dismount, Yin Chuan shouted. Yes, the embroidered uniform army replied. Rumble. Yin Chuan led more than 2,000 embroidered uniform army soldiers down from their horses. Dismounting, Yin Chuan stepped forward. He walked to the south of the arena. Hua Guang followed closely behind. He glared at everyone. Lu Gang, everyone from Zheng, sit down. I'm here. This is just the beginning, Yin Chuan said with a smile. Hiya, hiya. The sound of horses galloping could be heard from the entrance of the arena. Lu Jin had returned. Lu Jin led 500 soldiers to the arena and dismounted. At the same time, several soldiers were carrying a huge object. The dragon throne? His Majesty's dragon throne? An old Yin state official exclaimed. What Lu Jin brought back was a 9 dragons heavenly throne. This dragon throne was much larger than the one Yin Emperor was sitting on, the first seat of the Yin state. The crowd of Yin state's old ministers was about to get angry, but halfway through, their anger was completely vented. The dragon throne was the symbol of the emperor and could not be tarnished by others. Apart from the emperor, no one could sit on it. However, the person in front of him was a king who stood shoulder to shoulder. His status was the same as Yin emperor's. What should he say? He was indeed qualified to sit on the dragon throne. Sigh. The group of old officials were at a loss for words. Yin emperor narrowed his eyes and stared at the dragon throne that belonged to him. Quang. The dragon throne fell to the ground, stirring up a cloud of dust. Lord, Lu Jin said respectfully. Yin Chuan nodded with satisfaction. Lifting his robe, Yin Chuan slowly sat down. One in the north and one in the south. The two dragon thrones were facing each other. Yin Emperor and Yin Chuan. The two people with the highest status in the Yin state were sitting side by side. The crown princes around had a strange expression. However, no one said anything. With one hand holding the Jade Emperor sword and the other on the armrest of the dragon throne, Yin Chuan closed his eyes and recalled. Yin Chuan, do you want to bet? Yin Chuan, can you represent the Yin state? The group of crown princes shouted. Yin Chuan opened his eyes slightly and glanced around. In the Yin state, I can represent everything in the Yin state. Yin Emperor frowned. He stared at Yin Chuan. However, after a while, Yin Emperor's brows relaxed. The previous humiliation of the crown princes had a great impact on Yin Emperor. Seeing that Yin Emperor did not object, the crown princes' faces were filled with joy. Okay, in that case, let's start, Chu Prince said excitedly. However, Yin Chuan did not even look at him. Instead, he said indifferently, Hua Guang. Chapter 147. Yes, Your Majesty. Hua Guang said. Your Majesty? Hua Guang was a subject, but that should be Yin Emperor's subject. To Yin Chuan, he should only address him as subordinate, or subordinate. Addressing himself as subject was only for the emperor. But now, Hua Guang was addressing himself as subject. This subject seemed to indicate something. Everyone looked at him in surprise. Yin Chuan also looked at Hua Guang. He stared at Hua Guang for a while. In the end, Yin Chuan did not object. Instead, he showed a gratified smile. On the other side, Yin Emperor did not feel so good. However, Yin Chuan's status was the same as his. At this moment, people from outside the imperial court were present, so Yin Emperor did not object. Only a group of old officials were at a loss at this moment. They did not know what to say. Go, challenge the experts of Zhang. According to the previous rules, a battle of 20 cities. Yin Chuan said lightly, this subject obeys the decree. Hua Guang replied. Hua Guang walked to the center of the field and smashed the sky-piercing spear into the ground. Boom! The stone floor cracked. Zhang, who dares to fight? Hua Guang roared. Yin capital, Crown Prince Palace. Oh no, Crown Prince. A guard shouted again. Come in, Yin Wudi said in a low voice. The guard rushed into the hall and immediately shouted, Crown Prince, 500 people just came and took away the throne. 500 people? Bastard, we're the palace guards. Yin Wudi frowned. We can't stop them. We can't stop them at all. The combat power of those 500 people is too strong. No, just 100 people defeated 1,000 guards. The guard said with an ugly expression. What? Oh, right. They said that they received the order of the emperor equal to 1. But it's impossible for the Lord Protector's battalion to be so powerful. The guard said in disbelief. Yin Chuan? The Dugu Sword Emperor was surprised. Master, it should be Uncle Wang. Yin Wudi said. The Dugu Sword Emperor smiled and said, that kid does have some skills. Come, let's go take a look. With a wave of his hand, he led Yin Wudi out of the Crown Prince Palace and into the sky. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared into the clouds. Ah! The Crown Prince's palace guards exclaimed as they looked up at the sky. He flew into the clouds and overlooked the entire Beijing. At the drill ground, Yin Wudi immediately saw Yin Chuan and his party. Standing in the air, Yin Wudi stared down at the drill ground, while the Dugu Sword Emperor narrowed his eyes and looked into the distance. In the distance, above a white cloud, at this moment, 2 figures were standing there. They were the Yin state's prime minister, Chongqing, and a woman wearing a bamboo hat. Miss, the young man sitting on the dragon throne, is Yin Chuan. Chongqing explained. Yes. The woman nodded. She seemed to have sensed something and looked into the distance. The Dugu Sword Emperor and the woman looked at each other, but neither of them responded to the other. They both looked down. Lu Gang didn't respond, but the crown prince of Chu shouted first. For this battle, my Chu state will go first. The crown prince of Chu shouted. Consecrated Zhang, you just joined my Chu state. This battle is yours. The crown prince of Chu said to the Yin state's consecrator who had just surrendered. Yes. The consecrator stepped into the arena solemnly. Consecrator Zhang had witnessed Hua Guang's breakthrough. However, he was confident that he had more experience, so he accepted the challenge calmly. The moment Consecrator Zhang stepped out, Yin Chuan recognized him. Back then, in the Feng Shui formation, this person was following behind Yin Wudi. A consecrator of the Yin state had actually surrendered to Chu state? Treason? Yin Chuan's eyes turned cold. Hua Guang, Yin Chuan said indifferently. Your subject is here. Hua Guang looked at Yin Chuan respectfully. The surrounding princes looked at Yin Chuan in confusion. You are allowed to kill. Yin Chuan said in a heavy tone. Yes, Hua Guang said excitedly. The princes were stunned. Shameless boasting. Kill. I wonder who will kill who? The crown prince of Chu said angrily. Chapter 148. Shameless boasting. Kill. I wonder who will be the one to kill. The prince of Chu said angrily. Yin Chuan ignored him. Holding the Jade Emperor's sword, he looked around coldly and inadvertently glanced at third senior brother beside Lu Gang. Hua Guang stared at Honorary Zhang and said, I, Hua Guang, hate traitors the most. Traitor? I'm just an honorary. I can stay and leave the Yin kingdom whenever I want. Honorary Zhang did not feel guilty at all. The Yin kingdom has raised you for so many years, and this is how you repay them? Even if you raise a dog, you will know loyalty. And you are worse than a dog. Hua Guang shouted. You dare to call me a dog? Kid, you are courting death. Honorary Zhang glared. He waved the long sword in his hand, and a blue sword light appeared and pierced towards Hua Guang. Hua Guang glared and pulled out the long spear from the ground. Die! Hua Guang shouted angrily. He took a step forward, and with a twist of his foot, he exerted force, and a large number of cracks appeared on the ground. Wong! The long spear emitted a white light and collided with the blue sword light. Boom! The two weapons collided, and Honorary Zhang's long sword suddenly broke into two. How can this be? Honorary Zhang exclaimed. At this moment, Hua Guang glared, and the army destroyer will appear again, and a fierce, murderous aura shot towards Honorary Zhang. The murderous aura was so strong that it shook Honorary Zhang's mind. Chi! The long spear suddenly pierced through Honorary Zhang's chest, and blood splattered everywhere. The battle stopped, and only the sound of blood dripping from the tip of the spear could be heard. Everyone around looked surprised. No one expected the battle to end so quickly, and before anyone could react, it was over. Dead? So fast. 1 round? Just 1 round? The Prince of Chu looked at Honorary Zhang in disbelief. Honorary Zhang's chest was pierced, but he was not completely dead. He stared at Hua Guang, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. What kind of spear is this? Consecrated Zhang asked weakly. The gun that killed the old dog. Hua Guang said coldly. With a shake of his hand, the long spear trembled violently. Boom! Consecrated Zhang exploded, his flesh and blood splattering all over the ground. His death was extremely tragic, and the scene was extremely bloody. The head rolled to the feet of the Crown Prince of Chu, who retreated in fear. The Crown Prince of Chu was so scared by Consecrated Zhang's head that he fell to the ground. Ha ha! The Yin State soldiers all burst into laughter. No matter what, Hua Guang was, after all, the representative of Great Yin. Therefore, all the captains and soldiers were extremely excited at the moment. Yin Di narrowed his eyes and stared at Hua Guang. How great would it be if this person were my subject? Yin Emperor sighed in his heart. The crown princes of the four dynasties all wore unsightly expressions. Hua Guang killed Consecrator Zhang with a single spear strike and looked in Zhang's direction again. Hua Guang challenged Zhang again. Hua Guang shouted. As Hua Guang approached, the crown prince of Zhang's expression changed. The other consecrators behind him all wore unsightly expressions. They wanted to step forward, but Consecrator Zhang's death was too tragic. Who would be willing to die? 1 round, just 1 round. The crown prince of Zhang was about to point out the consecrator. Lu Gang suddenly stopped the crown prince and shook his head lightly. Third senior brother. This person is Hua Guang. He ruined Master's plan in the formation and stole the will of the Alcade Star. Lu Gang introduced him to his third senior brother, who was drinking wine. No wonder. Humph, since he dared to ruin Master's plan, you can go and teach him a lesson. Third senior brother said while drinking wine. But he has the will of the Alcade Star. I'm worried. Lu Gang showed a hint of embarrassment. You can't beat him? Third senior brother said disdainfully. Chapter 149. Yes, I can't beat him. Lu Gang admitted defeat. Third senior brother, bring my 3-colored sacred bull up. Third senior brother said helplessly. Thank you, third senior brother. Lu Gang said excitedly. Zhenghua, does anyone dare to fight? Hua Guang shouted again. I'll do it. Lu Gang suddenly shouted. As he spoke, Lu Gang stepped forward. Honorable Lu? It's been a long time. Hua Guang waved his spear and said in a low voice. According to my information, you were only at level 6 of the Power Realm last year. I didn't expect you to reach the Essence Realm in such a short time. What a heaven-defying luck. Lu Gang said with jealousy in his eyes. Don't talk nonsense. Since you're willing to fight, let's begin. Hua Guang shouted. Moo! Behind Zhenghua, the 2-story tall bull let out a roar and stepped forward. Boom! 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 The sacred bull stepped on the ground and the earth rumbled. Lu Gang, what's the meaning of this? Hua Guang shouted. Nothing. This sacred bull is my beast pet. Naturally, it will fight with me. If you have any beasts, you can invite them out. Lu Gang smiled. The sacred bull glared at Lu Gang. It was obviously angry that Lu Gang called it his beast pet. 3-colored sacred bull, don't be rude. Third senior brother shouted from behind. Only then did the sacred bull unwillingly acknowledge Lu Gang. High up in the sky. Shameless. Master, this Zhenghua is too shameless. Yin Wudi said anxiously. The Dugu, Sword Emperor, stared down. The spear in Hua Guang's hand is actually the sky-splitting spear. No, the 3,000 embroidered uniform army soldiers all have sky-splitting spears. Where did this Yin Chuan find so many? Master, what did you say? Yin Wudi was puzzled. Let's wait and see. Yin Chuan obviously came prepared. On the other side of the clouds. This is Yin Chuan? You said he's 17? The woman asked doubtfully. Yeah, I find it strange. He seems to be a little too arrogant. Chan Qing shook his head. Arrogant? No, I feel like he's referring to something else. The woman pondered for a moment. Below, the divine bull stepped onto the stage and charged towards Hua Guang. Men, Yin Chuan suddenly shouted. Here, the embroidered uniform army suddenly shouted. This beast is interfering with Hua Guang's fight. Kill it, Yin Chuan shouted. Kill him? Killing demonic beasts? How could this be? Everyone looked at him in surprise. Ha ha! Yin Chuan, you want to kill the 3-color divine cow? Dream on. The 3-color divine bull is invulnerable. Who can harm it? Don't anger the 3-color divine bull. It will trample you to death. If that happens, I won't be able to stop it. Lu Gang laughed and shouted from afar. Ka ka ka. The embroidered uniform army did not listen to Lu Gang's nonsense. About 10 of them suddenly pulled their heaven-shocking bows. Bang, bang, bang. 10 sun-shooting arrows suddenly turned into 10 streaks of light and shot towards the 3-color divine bull. Boom, boom, boom. The sun-shooting arrows were all stuck in the 3-color divine bull's body. Half of the arrow tails were left behind. The so-called invulnerability was actually unable to block 10 arrow feathers? Moo! The three-color divine bull let out a long cry of pain. At the same time, it was enraged. What? How was this possible? Liu Gang and the third senior brother both revealed looks of shock. The skin of the three-color divine bull was not something that could be pierced by mortal weapons. Moo! The three-color divine bull roared angrily and turned to look in Yin Chuan's direction. Chapter 150. The beast's skin is thick. Shoot its eyes. 1,000 archers shoot. Yin Chuan shouted. Yes. The 1,000 embroidered uniform army soldiers drew their bows again. Shoot. Yin Chuan shouted. Stop. Third senior brother shouted. Bang. 1,000 shooting sun arrows shot toward the tricolored sacred bull. Boom. Boom. The tricolored sacred bull was knocked to the ground by the rain of arrows. Its body was full of arrows, and 2 shooting sun arrows were stuck in its eyes. Blood flowed out of its eyes. Moo! Moo! The tricolored sacred bull cried out in pain. Rumble! The tricolored sacred bull rolled on the ground and pounced toward Yin Chuan, enduring the pain all over its body. Don't go! Liu Gang shouted. Clang! Huoguang waved his spear and blocked Liu Gang. Rumble! The tricolored sacred bull was about to reach him. Shoot! Bang! Another 1,000 arrows were shot, and the tricolored sacred bull's speed decreased. However, its huge body was about to reach Yin Chuan. Its body was full of arrows, and its eyes were shot blind. The tricolored sacred bull charged toward Yin Chuan in a frenzy. It was as if it wanted to kill the culprit. Die! The embroidered uniform army soldiers quickly stabbed the sacred bull with their spears. Moo! Boom! The sacred bull was very strong. When its body collided, the embroidered uniform army soldiers were sent flying. The sacred bull seemed to have locked onto Yin Chuan. After colliding with the embroidered uniform army soldiers, it charged toward Yin Chuan. Oomph! Yin Chuan's eyes turned cold. The Jade Emperor's sword in his hand suddenly trembled and let out a crisp, buzzing sound. Buzz! He stepped forward to meet the sacred bull. High in the sky, the Dugu, Sword Emperor, glared. Vibrating sword? How does he know how to vibrate sword? Master, what is vibrating sword? Yin Wudi asked doubtfully. Yes, it's that vibrating sword. This is a profound sword technique that allows the sword to vibrate at a high frequency, making it invincible. The Dugu Sword Emperor exclaimed. Invincible? Yin Wudi asked in disbelief. That's right. This method of wielding the sword is very difficult to achieve, but once you do, the power of the sword will increase exponentially. Don't underestimate the vibrating sword. In theory, when the vibrating frequency of ordinary metal reaches a certain level, it can cut through immortal equipment. The Dugu Sword Emperor said solemnly. Huh? Yin Wudi opened his mouth in shock. On the other side of the sky. As expected, I knew that this Yin Chuan's goal was definitely not some competition. The woman laughed. Not a duel? Then why did they send Hua Guang up? Chan Qing was puzzled. Just watch. It's about to get interesting, the woman said with a smile. Below, Yin Chuan's Jade Emperor sword suddenly stabbed forward. Buzz! The vibrations of the Jade Emperor sword became more and more intense. Moo! The sacred bull roared. You're courting death. On the other side, the third senior brother showed a hint of disdain. He originally wanted to go forward, but seeing that the sacred bull was about to crush Yin Chuan to death, the third senior brother stopped. As for Yin Chuan's sword, it would definitely not be able to pierce through the sacred bull's skin. The third senior brother could clearly see that Yin Chuan's cultivation was only at LV9 of the power realm. Just the power realm. Boom! Yin Chuan and the sacred bull collided, and the Jade Emperor sword pierced the sacred bull's heart. Fisk! The invulnerable cowhide was actually pierced by the Jade Emperor's sword with a single stab. Furthermore, it instantly pierced deep into it. Moo! The sacred bull roared in pain. How? How is this possible? The third senior brother exclaimed. What kind of weapon is that? Is this demonic bull an empty shell? It must be an empty shell. Otherwise, how could it not block the arrow and the sword? Everyone around revealed a puzzled expression. Yin Chuan stabbed the sacred bull's heart, and the sacred bull could no longer move. After killing the bull, Yin Chuan was about to pull out the Jade Emperor's sword. Yin Chuan raised his eyebrows. Gulp! Gulp! The Jade Emperor's sword made a strange sound. Drinking blood? The Jade Emperor's sword is drinking blood? Yin Chuan looked at the sword hilt in surprise. Chapter 151. Drinking blood? The Jade Emperor's sword is drinking blood? Yin Chuan looked at the sword hilt in shock. Gulp, gulp! The Jade Emperor's sword was absorbing the blood of the tricolor sacred bull. Moreover, as it drank the blood, the sword hilt turned red. An evil aura was emitted from the sword hilt. The evil aura of the 10,000 Wonders demonic lotus? No, it's not the evil aura. This evil aura has mutated. Yin Chuan's face changed. Chi! Yin Chuan pulled out the Jade Emperor's sword. The Jade Emperor's sword was originally black, but now it had turned bright red. The Jade Emperor's sword was emitting a bloody mist. At the sword hilt, a stream of energy was being injected into Yin Chuan's body. Yin Chuan's eyes widened. With a shake of his hand, the bloody mist was dispersed. The energy that was being injected into Yin Chuan's body was also dispersed by Yin Chuan. The Jade Emperor's sword is drinking blood and absorbing the power of blood and chi essence, and it's even giving me some of it. Is the sword turning into a demon? Yin Chuan frowned as he looked at the Jade Emperor's sword in his hand. Understand now. The Iron Jade's essence has been contaminated by the evil aura of the 10,000 Wonders demonic lotus and mutated. Unfortunately, the chi essence you're giving me is too evil. I can't use it. Buzz. The Jade Emperor's sword trembled slightly. My second Emperor's sword is actually an evil sword? Yin Chuan's face revealed a strange expression. Tricolor. A sorrowful voice came from afar. An angry roar resounded throughout the drill ground. Yin Chuan immediately came to his senses. Now was not the time to be entangled with the Jade Emperor's sword. He raised his head and looked at the angry third senior brother. Liu Gang's third senior brother, Zhou Che, blew a gust of wind in all directions. His powerful aura forced the people around him to stagger. Whoosh! Third senior brother, Zhou Che, rushed towards him in the blink of an eye. Shoot! A large number of shooting sun arrows shot towards third senior brother Zhou Che. Bang! A wall of chi suddenly appeared around third senior brother, and all the arrows stopped one zhang away from third senior brother. Qi Jing. Yin Chuan squinted his eyes and stepped back. Third senior brother stroked the three-color divine bull. However, the three-color divine bull had already lost all signs of life. It was dead. Dead, he's actually dead. Third senior brother's eyes were filled with rage. He suddenly turned his head and looked coldly at Yin Chuan. You kill my demon pet. I want you to be buried with him. Third senior brother said in a cold tone. Ka ka ka. The 3,000 members of the embroidered uniform army drew their bows. High in the sky. Master, is that person really in the Qi Jing stage? Yin Wudi asked anxiously. That's right. To be able to form a Qi wall, he should be in the Qi realm. However, he should have just reached the Qi realm not too long ago. The Dugu Sword Emperor nodded. Strength state, essence state, Qi state? That person is 2 levels higher than Uncle Wang. Master, why don't you help Uncle Wang? Yin Wudi asked worriedly. The Dugu Sword Emperor squinted his eyes and looked down. A flash of confusion appeared in his eyes. However, after seeing his disciples pleading, the Dugu Sword Emperor nodded and said, If Yin Chuan is in danger, I will save him. Thank you, Master. Yin Wudi nodded. On the other side, Chongqing and the girl were also looking down. Young mistress, that person is definitely in the Qi Jing stage. Could it be that Yin Chuan? Chongqing asked in disbelief. That's right. Yin Chuan purposely angered this Qi Jing master. The girl nodded. But Yin Chuan can't possibly know him. Of all the people here, Yin Chuan has only seen the portraits of Yin Emperor. It must be a coincidence that this Qi Jing master is here today. Chongqing frowned. Are you sure that Yin Chuan has never seen him before? The girl asked in surprise. Chapter 152. Absolutely not. He came here by chance. Chongqing said confidently. But from the beginning, I felt that Yin Xuan pretended to inadvertently glance at him a few times. This person's cultivation is the highest here. Yin Xuan paid attention to him as soon as he entered the drill ground. Unless what? Unless Yin Xuan has amazing eyesight and could see through this person's cultivation level the moment he entered the drill ground. The lady said, "How is that possible? Didn't you say that Yin Xuan is at LV9? He is at LV9, but some people can see through others even if they have no cultivation level. Yin Xuan is only 17. He shouldn't be so powerful," Chongqing said in disbelief. "Let's wait and see," the lady said seriously. Below, Yin Xuan was protected by 3,000 brocade army soldiers. "Shoot!" Lu Jin shouted. Boom! 3,000 shooting sun arrows shot toward third senior brother like a meteor shower, fiercely crashing into him. Humph! Third senior brother snorted. A strong wind blew around him, and a strong chi wall appeared again. Boom! 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 Although the shooting sun arrows were powerful, they were still blocked by the strong chi wall. However, 3,000 shooting sun arrows were too many. It was like a wall of arrows hitting third senior brother. Rumble. Even someone in the chi realm was pushed back more than 30 meters by the rain of arrows. The rain of arrows came one after another, leaving no gaps. Third senior brother was powerful, but he could only set up the chi wall to block the rain of arrows. Shooting sun arrows. They are all shooting sun arrows? Third senior brother was surprised. Although 3,000 shooting sun arrows couldn't hurt third senior brother, it made him realize that this army was not as easy to bully as he thought. They were not ants. Gradually, his anger was suppressed. Third senior brother calmed down and looked at the army in front of him seriously. Not far away, Lu Gang opened his mouth in shock. He didn't expect the powerful third senior brother to be suppressed. "Stop!" Yin Xuan abruptly roared. Huh? The 3,000 embroidered uniform army soldiers looked at Yin Xuan in confusion, but they still obeyed and quickly stopped shooting. At this moment, third senior brother had already suppressed his anger and coldly looked at Yin Xuan, who was being protected. Similarly, a trace of doubt flashed in his eyes. He didn't understand why Yin Xuan had stopped. "Get out of the way!" Yin Xuan shouted at the embroidered uniform army in front of him. Yes, the members of the embroidered uniform army slowly moved aside in confusion, allowing Yin Xuan to face third senior brother. It was as if the door was wide open, giving third senior brother an excellent opportunity to kill him. At this moment, if third senior brother were to attack, he would definitely be able to kill Yin Xuan in the blink of an eye. However, third senior brother didn't make a move. He just held his sword and looked coldly at Yin Xuan. He couldn't tell what Yin Xuan's intentions were. What is he doing? Send himself to death? No, he has 3,000 heaven-shocking bows. He can block me for a while, but why did he give up? Could there be another scheme? Thoughts flashed through third senior brother's mind, and he hesitated for a moment. High up in the sky, the woman exclaimed, "Amazing!" "What?" Chongqing asked in confusion. This Yin Xuan is not simple. He has controlled his opponent's emotions. The woman said with certainty. Manipulation? How is that possible? What does "miss" mean? Chongqing still did not understand. In a short period of time, Yin Xuan has planted an emotion in that person's heart. What emotion? Suspicious. The woman said with certainty. Suspicious? Rooted emotions? Chongqing doesn't understand. Please enlighten me, Mississippi. It's normal that you don't understand. I also heard Father mention it not long ago. Some true experts are not in martial arts, but in their temperament. No matter how strong the opponent is, once they control the opponent's emotions, they will be in an invincible position. The woman explained. Chapter 153. For example, just now, if Yin Xuan attacked that person right from the start, do you think he would hesitate as he did now? The woman asked. If it was me, I definitely wouldn't. Although Yin Xuan has 3,000 sky-shattering bows, he can't hurt me at all. If I was in the chi state, I would be able to take Yin Chuan's head in a flurry of arrows. Why would I hesitate? Yeah, why would I hesitate? But he hesitated again. The woman sighed. Why? Yin Chuan killed his pet first, igniting his anger and messing up his mind. Then 3,000 shooting sun arrows were shot together, showing the power to suppress him. Shaking his mind. First, he messed up his mind, then shook his mind. After this process, many people thought they had calmed down. But the calmness now is different from the calmness at the beginning. The woman said, messing up his mind, then shaking his mind. Although you've calmed down, you're still suspicious? Chongqing was enlightened. That's right. It added a sense of suspicion. Plus, now that Yin Chuan is wide open and has removed his defense, it made him even more suspicious. The woman said, Yin Chuan can't have thought so much in such a short time. Chongqing's face twitched in disbelief. But that's the truth. But Yin Chuan is only in the strength state. So what if he hesitated? How can a strength state defeat a chi state? Chongqing said in disbelief. I don't know either. Keep watching. The woman shook her head. Below, Yin Chuan was wide open, facing third senior brother. Ha 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 ha, initial chi state? Your King Mai's disciple? Yin Chuan laughed. His laughter was full of sarcasm. Seeing Yin Chuan's arrogant attitude, third senior brother hesitated even more. But his opponent was only in the strength state. That's right. But you killed my pet, so you must die today? Third senior brother said coldly. I must die? Ha! Some people don't even know that death is coming, and you want me to die? Ridiculous. Yin Chuan sneered. I'm dead. Ha ha ha. You're the laughable one. Third senior brother said in disbelief. Your chi realm hasn't stabilized yet, and you're already showing off. Judging from your complexion, it's obvious that your essence is in a mess, and your chi is about to burst out of your acupoints. In less than 3 days, his body will explode, and he will die, Yin Chuan shouted. The surrounding people all revealed blank expressions, as if they were listening to a heavenly book. In less than 3 days, he would explode and die. Bullshit. You're the one who's about to break through the acupoints. You're just in a strength state. What do you know? You still dare to teach me? Third senior brother suddenly shouted. Obviously, third senior brother did not believe Yin Chuan's words. You don't believe me? Press 3 inches and 2 centimeters below the center of your left ribs. Well, no, once we try. Yin Chuan was still brimming with confidence. Why should I listen to you? Third senior brother glanced at his ribs and shouted. Your hands are on your body. It's your business whether you try or not. Yin Chuan was still confident. Third senior brother was already suspicious at this moment. Seeing Yin Chuan full of confidence, he did not know why he suddenly had some doubts. Humph, just try. After I try, I'll kill you, third senior brother shouted. As he spoke, he pointed his finger at the place where Yin Chuan said and pressed gently. Puff! Third senior brother's body suddenly shook. He could not help but shake, as if he could not control it. How could this be? How could this be? Third senior brother's face immediately dripped with big beads of sweat, his face full of panic. Press down hard. You'll know. Yin Chuan shouted again. Third senior brother panicked, listening to Yin Chuan's words, and pressed down hard. Bang! Third senior brother's body suddenly emitted a sound of explosion. Third senior brother fell down softly, his whole body twitching, unable to move. Third senior brother, Lu Gang exclaimed. High in the sky, the Dugu Sword Emperor, Yin Wudi, Chongqing, and the first miss all gaped in shock. Master, why did that person collapse? Yin Wudi asked in confusion. First miss, what's going on? Could it be that his cultivation is really unstable? Chongqing asked in confusion. Below, Yin Chuan stepped forward. Why? Why do I have no strength? Third senior brother looked at Yin Chuan as he twitched. Looking at third senior brother, Yin Chuan had a strange expression on his face. I've seen stupid people, but I've never seen someone as stupid as you. You cut off your own meridians. You still want to have strength? Yin Chuan said as he shook his head. I cut off my own meridians? I'm fine. You lied to me. Third senior brother understood. It turned out that he was powerless. It was caused by himself. He crippled himself. Despicable person, you lied to me. Third senior brother said in grief, wanting to cry, but having no tears. Chapter 154. Third senior brother finally understood. It turned out that the weakness in his body was caused by himself. Did he cripple himself? Despicable bastard, you lied to me, the third senior brother said in grief. The third senior brother was filled with grief and hatred, but there was no medicine for regret. He collapsed on the ground, and no matter how much he screamed, he couldn't change the fact that he had lost. In the sky, the four people looked down in shock. Miss, why is that guy so stupid? Chongqing asked. No, he's not stupid. The woman shook her head. Oh, it's because he just reached the Qi Jing realm and didn't fully understand his own Qi meridians. If it was someone who had reached the Qi Jing realm for many years, he would have understood at the moment he touched his Qi meridians. But he was tricked by Yin Chuan again and again, and even cut off his own Qi meridians? Huh, unbelievable, the woman said. Because he was confused, he fell into Yin Chuan's trap? Chongqing nodded. Yes, but more importantly, Yin Chuan's eyes are sharp. How did Yin Chuan see through his cultivation? The woman pondered. Miss, you don't know? Chongqing was surprised. The woman shook her head. On the other side, looks like I don't have to do anything. The Dugu Sword Emperor looked down with a strange expression. Master, why is Uncle Wang so? Yin Wudi frowned. Is he strong? Ha, he is. I think he learned it from Yin Tao. Back then, Yin Tao was a genius. If it wasn't for that incident, sigh. The Dugu Sword Emperor sighed. Below. Liar. The third senior brother said in grief. But no one sympathized with him. Third senior brother. Lu Gang shouted. Dang. Huoguang waved his spear and blocked Lu Gang's path. Yin Emperor, let's call it day. Let's go back. The crown prince of Chu stammered. That's right, Yin Emperor. I think we should forget about the city from before. Farewell. The crown prince of Han also immediately called out. After the strength of the embroidered uniform army was displayed, the crown princes retreated one after another. What was the point of fighting? Even the Qi Jing fighter was defeated. How could they continue fighting? The Yin state's officers and soldiers were elated at this moment. They all looked at Yin Chuan with shining eyes. Before Yin Emperor could open his mouth, Yin Chuan suddenly raised his head. Leave? Today no one can leave. Yin Chuan shouted domineeringly. No one can leave? Everyone froze and looked at Yin Chuan in surprise. Yin Emperor narrowed his eyes. A hint of confusion appeared on his face. Yin Chuan, what do you mean? We have already given up on the city that we won from a bet. What else do you want? The crown prince of Chu shouted. Yin Chuan, are you going to break the alliance and start a war between the five nations? Yin Chuan, if you dare to touch a single hair of mine, the Wei nation's army will trample over the Yin capital. The crown princes all scolded. Humph! Yin Chuan snorted coldly. The snort was filled with majesty. The snort suppressed everyone's angry shouts. If it weren't for this Qi Jing idiot, why would I waste my time talking to you? Today, none of you can leave after humiliating the Yin kingdom. Yin Chuan shouted. After hearing Yin Chuan's words, the third senior brother not only suffered a great loss physically and mentally, but also suffered a great blow mentally. Qi Jing idiot? I'm a Qi Jing idiot? The third senior brother felt like his heart was pierced by thousands of arrows. Yin Chuan, what are you doing? The crown prince of Chu shouted. Chapter 155. Yin Chuan coldly glanced at everyone. Take them all down. Yin Chuan shouted coldly. Yes. The embroidered army replied immediately. Yin Chuan has gone mad. Crown Prince, let's go, let's go. A consecrator of Chu shouted. Let's go. The Crown Prince of Chu immediately shouted. Crown Prince, we'll protect you. Quick, no one can stop us once we're out of Yinjing. The consecrators shouted. Not only the Crown Prince of the Chu Kingdom, but the Crown Prince of the Han Kingdom and the Crown Prince of the Wei Kingdom also knew that Yin Chuan was about to go crazy. All of them fled outside under the escort of a group of experts. Those who don't surrender die. Yin Chuan said coldly. Boom! A rain of arrows suddenly shot toward the group of experts. On the other side, Yindi's face also twitched. Yindi didn't expect Yin Chuan to be so impulsive. Kill! How could he kill him? Yin Emperor wanted to stop him, but he didn't know what to say. This was because the embroidered uniform army was not something he could order around. A large number of experts died under the rain of arrows. Those who don't surrender will be killed. The embroidered uniform army shouted. Crown Prince, run! The Chu country's consecrators shouted. Yin Chuan, I'll kill you. A group of consecrators rushed over. Bam! 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 Under the rain of arrows, the 5 spirit realm consecrators were all killed by the shooting sun arrows. The essence state? So what if he was in the elite realm? In front of the shooting sun arrows, he couldn't even withstand a single blow. Moreover, there were thousands of shooting sun arrows. The Crown Prince of Chu was shot to death by an arrow. Prince Chu is dead. Not far away, Yin Emperor's face twitched. This Yin Chuan was too undisciplined and out of control. That was the Crown Prince of the Chu country. Once he died, the Chu country would never rest until one of them was annihilated. The Crown Prince of Korea was also killed by an arrow. Crown Prince, the group of experts exclaimed, but there was no use crying out in alarm. The Crown Prince of Korea had already been blown to smithereens. The Crown Prince of Wei Nation and the Crown Prince of Zheng Nation felt a chill in their hearts when they saw the other 2 Crown Princes' deaths. Escape? How could he escape? Who would be able to escape from that divine arrow? I surrender. Liu Gang was the first to admit defeat. When the 2 princes saw that Liu Gang had admitted defeat, they immediately knew that the situation was hopeless. The Yin Chuan in front of them was simply a madman. Put down your weapons. We surrender. The Crown Prince of Wei Kingdom shouted. Clang! Clang! In the blink of an eye, under Yin Chuan's high pressure, everyone surrendered. Tie them all up. Yin Chuan shouted. Yes, sir. The Brocade E-Army replied. Although Yin Emperor and the other experts of the Great Yin were delighted, they soon frowned. This was a mortal enmity with the 4 nations. Yin Emperor, if worst comes to worst, we'll just give up on those cities. Why are you capturing us? Yin Chuan is mad. Don't make the same mistake as him. Yin Emperor, let us go. We can talk about anything. The Crown Princes of Zheng Nation and Wei Nation were begging for help. Yin Chuan, Yin Emperor said with an ugly expression. We'll talk about the Yin state's own affairs later. Let's unite against the outside world first. Yin Chuan directly stopped Yin Emperor from saying what he wanted to say. Yin Emperor was embarrassed and didn't know what to say. I'll kill whoever dares to bully Yin Emperor again. Yin Chuan shouted coldly. Ka 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 ka. The shooting sun arrows were aimed at the representatives of the 4 nations again. The representatives of the 4 nations were tongue-tied. They looked at Yin Chuan in a daze. They had seen domineering people, but they had never seen such a domineering person. He wouldn't even let them beg for mercy. In the sky, disciple, what's wrong? The Dugu Sword Emperor asked. Chapter 156. Uncle Wang's actions will cause a war between the 5 nations. What should we do? Yin Wudi said anxiously. You have nothing to do with the world. Don't think about it. Besides, I think that Yin Chuan is not a hot-headed person. Otherwise, he wouldn't have plotted against the Qi Jing people. The Dugu Sword Emperor shook his head. On the other side, young miss, this Yin Chuan is crazy. Chan Qing shouted. No, he is domineering. The woman exclaimed. Chan Qing was puzzled. This person is not ordinary. The woman shook her head. What? He is making enemies with the 4 nations. He is going to consign the Yin state to eternal damnation. Chan Qing did not understand. No, think again. Think again. The woman laughed. Below, the embroidered army only restrained the people of Zheng and Wei, but they were much rougher to the people of Chu and Korea. After all, in the eyes of the embroidered army, their crown prince was dead. The Yin state must be the enemy. Why should they be polite? The difference in attitude immediately attracted the attention of the people of the 4 nations. Don't kill me. I am classmates with the Prime Minister of Yin State, Chan Qing. Don't kill me. A man among the people of Chu suddenly exclaimed. Me too. I am also Chongqing's classmate. Another person among the Korea team exclaimed. Oh, you know the Prime Minister of Yin State? Yin Chuan narrowed his eyes. Not only Yin Chuan, but also Yin Emperor raised his eyebrows. The officials of Yin State also showed disbelief. You are lying. How could Chongqing know you? Yin Emperor glared. I really know Chongqing. Chongqing, where are you? Come and save me, Chongqing. Chongqing, come and save me. The two of them exclaimed. In the sky. When Chongqing saw the scene below, his expression immediately changed. These two idiots, Chongqing said with an ugly expression. The woman sighed and said, let's go down. Swish. The two of them descended from the sky. Chongqing, it's you? Yindi looked at Chongqing in surprise. When did his most trusted subject learn how to fly? Chongqing, you're here. Hurry up and let me go. Eldest miss? Another person said in surprise. Greetings, Mississippi. It's great that you're here. Save me. Greetings, eldest miss. Greetings, eldest miss. It wasn't just Chu, Daehan, Zheng, and Wei that were trapped as well. They were all dressed in Confucian robes and were extremely respectful to the woman. Eldest miss? Yin Emperor looked at the woman in surprise. At this moment, everyone could tell that something was amiss, because the 5 people who knew this woman were actually from the 5 nations. Scattered across the 5 nations? Who exactly was this woman? The woman was dressed in white and wore a bamboo hat. Her face couldn't be seen clearly. Chongqing, what's going on? Yin Emperor shouted. Chongqing sighed slightly and turned to Yin Emperor. He bowed and said, Yin Emperor, I'm sorry for hiding it from you before, but I've never done anything wrong to the Yin state all these years. And these 4 people, like me, are from the 4 nations. You, Yin Emperor said angrily. No matter how nice Chongqing's words were, Yin Emperor knew that his most important subject had never been loyal to him. Not only Yin Emperor, but the Crown Prince of Zheng and Crown Prince of Wei were also shocked. How could the Prime Minister of his own country? Who are you? Yin Chuan stared at the woman in the bamboo hat and asked. I'm Meng Rongrong from the Julu Academy. These are the students of the Julu Academy. I want to take them with me. The woman said with a smile. Julu Academy? Everyone was confused. So it's the Julu Academy. The Dugu Sword Emperor said in a low voice. Master, what kind of place is the Julu Academy? Yin Wudi asked. There are 4 major academies in the world. Taoist Palace, Buddhist Sect, Demon's Den, Feng Shui, and even the major families have to give face to the 4 major academies. The Julu Academy is one of them. The Dugu Sword Emperor explained. Huh? Yin Wudi was confused. The mortals below had never heard of the Julu Academy. The Julu Academy? They're my prisoners. Why should I let you take them away? Yin Chuan said in a low voice. Chapter 157. Julu Academy? They're my prisoners. Why should I let you take them away? Yin Chuan said solemnly. You. Chongqing glared at him. Meng Rongrong stopped Chongqing. Haven't you heard of the Julu Academy? Didn't your father tell you? Meng Rongrong laughed. Never heard of it. Yin Chuan said doubtfully. Taking these people away is of no help to your grand plan at all. I can guarantee that they will not return to the 4 countries. What do you think? Meng Rongrong did not continue to pester the Julu Academy. Oh, Yin Chuan narrowed his eyes and stared at Meng Rongrong, who was wearing a bamboo hat. Great plan? Meng Rongrong could tell. If that's the case, I'll take it that you agree. Meng Rongrong smiled. No, Yin Chuan shouted again. Meng Rongrong was puzzled. They have to stay in Beijing for 3 months. I can let them go, but they can't leave. Yin Chuan said solemnly. You. Chongqing's eyes were burning with anger. He had never met such a difficult person. Okay. Meng Rongrong suddenly smiled. Eldest miss. Chongqing was puzzled. I originally wanted to stay and take a look. Since that's the case, isn't that even better? Meng Rongrong smiled. Yes. You can rest in Chongqing's residence for the time being. Yin Chuan nodded. Oh, aren't you worried that we will leave? Meng Rongrong asked curiously. You are in the divine realm. Since you can make a promise to someone in the strength realm, of course, I'll believe you. Yin Chuan said calmly. Meng Rongrong also frowned. Did he see through my cultivation again? What did he think? Rumble. Suddenly, rumbling sounds came from all directions. Everyone looked up. In the distance, a black dot on the horizon instantly approached. It was a 6-meter-long bat. The bat flapped its wings, causing a gale to blow. It circled in the air, its eyes ferocious. Bat God, Bat God! Third senior brother, who had fallen to the ground, cried out in surprise. Crack! Bat God looked in Yin Chuan's direction and suddenly opened his mouth to roar. A huge sound wave rushed out, and the air around them seemed to overlap. Under the sound waves, a group of embroidered uniform army soldiers were sent flying. Shoot them down! Lu Jin shouted. Swish! Swish! A large number of shooting sun arrows soared into the sky and shot towards the bat demons. At this moment, Yin Chuan's third senior brother, who was not far away, moved his fingers slightly, as if he was about to move. Kaka! The bats circled around, dodging the rain of arrows and constantly disrupting the entire battlefield. Under the sound waves, a large number of cracks appeared on ground. Many people covered their ears and rolled around in pain. Third senior brother clenched his fist. The fear from before was slowly receding. The bat sound waves helped third senior brother to reopen his blocked meridians. Yin Chuan kicked third senior brother's lower abdomen. The meridians that had just been reopened were once again broken by Yin Chuan's kick. Third senior brother's face turned red. You still want to run after falling into my hands? Yin Chuan smiled coldly. Swish! In the sky, a shooting sun arrow suddenly shot through the bat demon's wings. Wah! The bat demon let out a cry like a baby. Swish! Swish! Another 2 arrows shot through the bat demon's wings. Wah! Wah! The bat demon cried out in pain. Bat God, let's go and inform eldest senior brother. Quick, quick, quick! Third senior brother curled up and shouted. Wah! The bat demon circled for a while and soared into the sky. Chapter 158. He turned his head and looked at the fallen third senior brother. Then, he spread his injured wings and flew away. Where do you think you're going? The embroidered uniform army shouted and drew their bows again. There's no need to shoot anymore. Yin Chuan shouted. Yes. The embroidered uniform army finally stopped. Yin Chuan watched the bat demon leave. He pondered for a moment before looking at the third senior brother again. Lord, how do we guard this person? Lu Jin was a little troubled. After all, this person was in the chi state. Once he broke free, the consequences would be unimaginable. Pierce his shoulder blades and throw him into the prison. Yin Chuan said in a deep voice. Yes, everyone answered. When the third senior brother heard that, he immediately shouted, How dare you? How dare you? My master won't let you go. If it weren't for King Yimai, I would have killed you right now. Yin Chuan said coldly. You. The third senior brother trembled. He looked at Yin Chuan in horror. Throw them all into the prison. Lu Jin commanded the embroidered uniform army. In the blink of an eye, the representatives of the 4 states were all prisoners. Yin Emperor and the other Yin state officials looked on numbly. There were thousands of words in their hearts, but they didn't know where to start. This matter was... Yin Chuan slowly walked towards Yin Emperor. Greetings, Emperor equal to the Emperor. The Yin state officials all said solemnly. Yin Chuan, what are you? Yin Emperor frowned. This is not the place to talk. Let's go back. Yin Chuan shook his head. Okay, Yin Emperor said with a complicated look in his eyes. In the sky. Master, I want to hear Uncle Wang's explanation later. Yin Wudi looked at the Dugu Sword Emperor. Go, deal with the secular matters. The Dugu Sword Emperor nodded. Thank you, Master. Yin Wudi's face lit up with joy. In the evening, in Beijing. Zhao Manor's main hall. An old man with silvery white hair that was combed neatly sat in the main seat. The old man was dignified and his eyes glowed. There were 7 or 8 Zhao family disciples sitting on both sides. Master, is what happened at the drill ground today true? A disciple of the Zhao family asked incredulously. It's true. Yin Chuan has detained the envoys of the 4 countries. Moreover, his embroidered uniform army is personally guarding the prison. Patriarch Zhao said in a deep voice. Yin Chuan is crazy. He wants to consign the Yin state to eternal damnation. A disciple shouted. Beyond redemption? Wouldn't it be perfect if the Yin state was in chaos? Once chaos breaks out, I, Zhao Tianwang, can break away from the Yin state, establish a dynasty, and ascend to the throne? Patriarch Zhao said in a deep voice. That's right. The group of disciples laughed. My Zhao clan's power has already matured. Now we just need an opportunity, and that opportunity is not far away. Do your job well, and don't make any mistakes. Zhao Tianwang said in a deep voice. Yes, Patriarch. Don't worry. The group of disciples replied. Patriarch, Yin Chuan's embroidered uniform army is not to be underestimated. A disciple said with a frown. Don't worry. In a few months, Yin Chuan will enter the gate of heaven. His embroidered uniform army relies on divine weapons. Once Yin Chuan leaves, the embroidered uniform army will be mine, right? Zhao Tianwang said confidently. Yes, Patriarch. No matter how strong the embroidered uniform army is, they can't escape from Patriarch's hands. The disciples said excitedly. You may leave. Zhao Tianwang said. Yes. The crowd retreated. Zhao Tianwang stood up and closed the door. He walked to the corner of the wall and tapped on the wall a few times. Suddenly, a secret entrance appeared on the ground. Zhao Tianwang walked into the depths. There was a secret room in the depths. The secret room was surrounded by Yin Shi. Zhao Tianwang looked nervous. He calmed himself down and continued walking. Who is it? A cold voice suddenly came from the dark secret room. Senior Poisoner, it's me, Zhao Tianwang. Zhao Tianwang, try to curry favor. What are you doing here? Didn't I ask you to keep an eye on the Dugu, Sword Emperor? The voice in the dark said coldly. I've been keeping an eye on him. However, he's in the Crown Prince's palace and hasn't come out. I have something else to report. Zhao Tianwang said respectfully. Oh, that Yin Chuan entered the capital today and went on a killing spree. Zhao Tianwang explained in detail what happened during the day. Zhao Tianwang, you're Shin Kun Kuro's disciple, right? Poisoner sneered. Yes. Master took me in as his disciple 5 years ago and asked me to rebel against the Yin state and set up a trap to exterminate the Yin clan. Zhao Tianwang said respectfully. Do you know why he took you in? Poisoner said indifferently. I don't know. Maybe he saw something in me. Bullshit. What's so good about you? You're already so old, but your bone structure is still so weak. Let me tell you, it's because Yin Tao was killed by Shin Kun Kuroha. Do you understand now? Poisoner said coldly. Yes, I understand. Zhao Tianwang frowned. While I'm recuperating, try your best to keep a low profile. Don't cause any trouble and attract the Dugu, Sword Emperor. When I'm healed, you can do whatever you want. At that time, I'll give you a good fortune. Poisoner said in a deep voice. Yes, I'll definitely protect you. Zhao Tianwang said respectfully. Go. Don't disturb me again. Poisoner said in a deep voice. Yes. Zhao Tianwang slowly retreated. Yin capital, Imperial Palace. In a large hall, a banquet was set up in the hall. Yin Emperor sat in the main seat. Yin Chuan sat in the guest seat on the east side. Yin Wudi sat in the guest seat on the west side. There were only 3 people at the banquet. 2 eunuchs stood behind Yin Emperor. Lu Jin stood behind Yin Chuan. The hall was closed. There was no one else. It's been more than 7 years since we last saw each other. I can't believe that you've grown so much in just 7 years. Yin Emperor smiled. Yes, it's been more than 7 years. I'm sure you haven't been feeling well all these years. Yin Chuan smiled. Yin Wudi didn't interrupt. He just watched. Yin Emperor looked slightly embarrassed. He drank a cup of wine and took a deep breath. Indeed, I've been prejudiced against you all these years. After all, your identity is too sensitive. You're a threat to my throne. Yin Emperor suddenly said with a serious face. Father? Yin Wudi looked at Yin Emperor in surprise. Yin Emperor waved his hand, indicating that he shouldn't interrupt. However, I understand what happened at the drill ground today. Emperor? Throne? Ha, what a joke. In front of the Immortal sect, it's really a joke. Yin Emperor said bitterly. The Yin state lost your father. The Yin state can only be bullied. Without the support of the Immortal sect, what can a great dynasty do? Yin Emperor shook his head and said. Yin Chuan looked at Yin Emperor. He knew that he wasn't finished. The war between the 5 countries is about to begin. The Yin state is at the moment of life and death. I don't want the Yin state to be destroyed in my hands. Therefore, I want to pass the imperial seal to you. I want to recommend you to the throne. Yin Emperor stared at Yin Chuan and said solemnly. As he spoke, a eunuch behind him held a jade box. Obviously, the jade box contained the Yin state's imperial seal. Father, Yin Wudi said in surprise. Chapter 159. The war between the 5 nations is about to begin. The Yin state is at the moment of life and death. I don't want the Yin state to be destroyed in my hands. Therefore, I want to pass the imperial seal to you. Yin Emperor stared at Yin Chuan and said solemnly. As he spoke, a eunuch behind him came forward with a jade box. Clearly, the jade box contained the Yin state's imperial seal. Imperial Father, Yin Wudi exclaimed. Drinking the fine wine, Yin Chuan's gaze was focused as he stared at the Yin Emperor, analyzing whether the Yin Emperor was speaking the truth or not. Father, you are Yin Emperor. How can you? Yin Wudi said anxiously. Yin Emperor? No, Wudi. The Yin state was originally a king, and Yin Chuan was also the legitimate ruler of the Yin state. Yin Emperor shook his head. But, Yin Wudi was still unwilling to give up. Yin Emperor said in a low voice, no buts. In the royal family, you're the only one with potential. Your brothers and sisters are useless. I originally wanted to pass the throne to you, but you have entered the Immortal sect and have a better future. You can't miss this opportunity. But, Yin Wudi was still frowning. If I hand the Yin state over to your brothers, it will be destroyed in the blink of an eye. No, even if I take control of the Yin state, it will be destroyed sooner or later. Only Yin Chuan, the Emperor, can carry the banner of the Yin state. The Yin Emperor said solemnly. Oh, Yin Chuan stared at Yin Emperor in confusion. Your embroidered uniform army should be more than enough to fight against the armies of other countries. As for the participation of the immortal sects of other countries, you also have the Day sect behind you. Although your father is dead, the Day sect will not sit by and watch you die. As long as you are the emperor, the Day sect will definitely protect the Yin state. As long as we strive for a few decades, Crown Prince Yin Wudi will have completely grown up. At that time, he will be able to protect the Yin state for generations to come. Yin Emperor said with certainty. Yin Emperor spoke selflessly, but he couldn't fool Yin Chuan. He smiled and took a sip of wine. Father, Uncle Wang could have entered the Immortal sect and had the opportunity to live forever. How could he be trapped on the throne? Yin Wudi frowned and asked worriedly. Invincible. Yin Emperor's eyes widened. Imperial Father, I feel that this is unfair to Uncle Wang. Uncle Wang could have cultivated for a long time. If he became the emperor, he would be old after a few decades. It would be too late to cultivate then. Moreover, after a few decades, would the Day sect still care about the favor of grandfather Yin Tao? Yin Wudi shook his head. Unfilial son, I'm doing this for your own good, for the sake of the Yin clan. Yin Emperor said angrily. Yin Emperor originally wanted to use the righteousness of the Yin clan's bloodline to restrain Yin Chuan, but he didn't expect his son to undermine him. What you are doing is wrong, Yin Wudi said stubbornly. Ha ha ha! Yin Chuan suddenly laughed and interrupted the father and son's argument. The two frowned and looked at Yin Chuan. There is no need to argue. Thank you for your kindness. I can take the throne, Yin Chuan said with a smile. Really? Yin Emperor's eyes lit up. Yes. Yin Chuan nodded affirmatively. However, when he saw Yin Chuan nod, Yin Emperor didn't know why, but he suddenly felt a trace of reluctance and unwillingness. Then please accept the imperial seal. Tomorrow, I will announce to the officials that you will ascend the throne on an auspicious day. Yin Emperor looked at the box with reluctance. Yin Chuan smiled and shook his head. Why are you going back on your words? Yin Emperor frowned. I originally wanted to establish a dynasty. My original plan was not necessarily to establish the Yin state. After all, you and I are of the same bloodline. I didn't want to fight with you. However, since you are willing to give up the throne, I will accept it. Don't worry. As long as I am alive, I will protect the Yin clan, Yin Chuan said solemnly. Chapter 160. Good, good. Yin Emperor smiled. But not now. Yin Chuan shook his head. Yin Emperor was slightly surprised. I have the opportunity to become an immortal cultivator and have entered the Day sect. I want to ask you, do you want to enter the cultivation world? Yin Chuan asked seriously. Enter the cultivation world? Yin Emperor's eyes lit up, but then he said bitterly, who doesn't want to become an immortal? But my foundation is very poor. Your father also said that I didn't have the opportunity to become an immortal cultivator. Which immortal sect would accept me? Good. Give up the throne, and I'll help you. It's a kind of compensation. Yin Chuan thought for a while and said, You help me? Yin Emperor was slightly surprised. If your foundation is poor, then you can use a lot of resources. Others need 1, but you can use 10. I'll lead you into the cultivation world and help you reach the Qi state. What do you think? Yin Chuan smiled. How is that possible? Yin Emperor was overjoyed. Why? You don't believe me? Yin Chuan smiled. No, I believe you. It's just that. Ha. You can eat the 3-colored sacred cow on the drill ground. Yin Chuan laughed. You're giving it to me? You can have it. Cultivate well. When you reach the Qi state, you'll have to rely on yourself. Yin Chuan nodded. When I reach the Qi state, I'll be able to establish myself in the cultivation world. I don't need your help anymore. Yin Emperor said excitedly. Okay, then you can continue to deal with the affairs of the Yin state for me. Yin Chuan thought for a while and said, What? You're not going to ascend the throne now? Yin Emperor frowned. I'm going to the Day sect to take a look. When I'm done, I'll come back and ascend the throne. Yin Chuan said in a low voice. But Yin Di frowned. Yin Chuan shook his head and said, Besides, you'll need a lot of resources to reach the Qi state. I need to get my father's things back. Oh, all right. Yin Emperor nodded, but there was still something on his mind. Don't worry, I have detained the emissaries of the 4 countries. I will take care of this matter. Before I go to the Day sect, I will take care of everything properly. You can rest assured and continue to be Yin Emperor. Yin Chuan said with a smile. All right, let me give you a toast. Yin Emperor smiled. Yin Chuan nodded. Yin Wudi looked at Yin Chuan in confusion. After the banquet, after sending off Yin Chuan, Yin Di and Yin Wudi stood at the door and looked at Yin Chuan's back. Father, do you really believe Uncle Wang? Yin Wudi frowned. Yin Di narrowed his eyes. I can't believe all of his words, but I can't let go of this opportunity. He is different from you. He has Yin Tao's inheritance in the Day sect. He has a lot of cultivation resources. Since he promised to help me enter the cultivation world, I must fight for it. Although power is good, I need to be alive to enjoy it. Once I become immortal, what can I not have? Yin Di said in a deep voice. All right. Yin Wudi nodded. On the other side, Yin Chuan walked around the palace with Lu Jin. As they walked, Yin Chuan looked at the bright moonlight, and his face showed a trace of satisfaction. Your Highness, I have already ordered people to tidy up the Emperor's palace. Lu Jin said from the side. Haha, what's wrong? I see that you have been holding back for a long time. Do you have something to say? Yin Chuan laughed. Old slave just doesn't understand why the Lord agreed to Yin Di's request. What's so good about being an emperor? This world belongs to immortals. Only immortality and immortality are the most important things. Lu Jin said with a complicated expression. Ha, you don't understand. Being an emperor is to become the most powerful immortal. Yin Chuan laughed. Lu Jin was stunned. Emperor? Immortal? Was there a connection? Old slave doesn't understand the Lord's meaning. But if the Lord wants to be an emperor, Does it have to be in the yin state? This will let Yin D get so many cultivation resources. Lu Jin said with some reluctance. Ha ha, I'm a rightful ruler in the yin state. I can take advantage of the situation to sit on the throne. Why not go to the yin state? A country and a sect are two different concepts. Although the yin state is small, the country's system is complete. This is what I value the most. A complete system can save me a lot of trouble. I just need to strengthen it and strengthen it. As for those cultivation resources, it's nothing. Yin Chuan laughed. If that's the case, why didn't the Lord take the imperial seal just now? Lu Jin asked curiously. Taking a deep breath, Yin Chuan shook his head and said, It's not time yet. I have to go to the cultivation world. It's not to find a master to cultivate, but to recruit a group of truly capable people to help me conquer the world. Recruit people? Lu Jin was slightly stunned. That's right. Yin Chuan nodded. Yes, old slave understands. Lu Jin nodded respectfully. It's good that you understand. Tomorrow, gather all the information on all the ministers in the yin state and give it to me. I want to see if there are any talents in the yin state that I want. Yin Chuan said solemnly. Yes, Lord, rest assured. 2 days later, in the morning at the emperor's palace, Yin Chuan washed up and walked out of the courtyard. Hua Guang and Lu Jin were waiting outside the courtyard. Hua Guang, have you made the arrangements? Yin Chuan stared at Hua Guang. Yes, my first army has been sent out in 3 groups. Each group has 900 people. They left Yinjing last night. There are only 300 people left in Yinjing for the Lord's command. Hua Guang said respectfully. Lord, there are only 900 people in each group. Can they complete the mission? Lu Jin was a little worried. This time, let's give them a chance to hone themselves. If a jade isn't polished, it won't amount to anything. Yin Chuan said with a smile. Yes, the 2 of them answered. Let's go. We'll go to Xingluo Mountain Villa and meet the imperial tutor, Yifeng. Yin Chuan said as he mounted his horse. Yes, the 2 of them mounted their horses. 100 people from the imperial tutor followed behind them. They galloped out of the city. Lord, Yifeng is already old. What's the use of looking for him? Hua Guang asked, puzzled. Old people cherish their lives. Old people are dignified. When a person is about to die, they can see through many things. Besides, so what if he's old? He's 92 years old. He's just a kid in the cultivation world. In the past 2 days, I've read all kinds of records about him. Although he only wrote about how he succeeded, I could feel that there was a lot of planning before he succeeded. Plus, he's very famous. His disciples are all over the yin state. If he's really thinking for me, he'll be a pillar of the country, Yin Chuan said with certainty. A pillar of the country? Lu Jin was surprised. Nothing is certain yet. This trip is to verify it, Yin Chuan said solemnly. If the Lord wants to see him, we can just summon him. Why do we have to go there personally? Lu Jin frowned. No, if he's a capable person, I'll pay him a visit personally. It's fine if we talk about it now, but don't be rude when the time comes, Yin Chuan said with a deep voice. Yes, old slave understands. Lu Jin immediately said respectfully. Go. A group of people galloped out of the city towards Xingluo Mountain Villa. Chapter 161. Yinjing, Prime Minister's residence. Chongqing had been removed from his post, but because of the emperor's permission, he was still living in the Prime Minister's residence. In a large hall. Young miss, there's no need for the 5 of us to stay in the imperial court anymore, a scholar said to Meng Rongrong. Yes, we've gathered all the information. The operations of the imperial court and all the systems have been recorded. We can go back and report it to the principal. Another scholar said. Meng Rongrong sat at the head of the table, drinking tea as she looked at the 5 people from the Jiulu Academy. All. Meng Rongrong smiled. It should be all. Chongqing nodded. Meng Rongrong shook her head and sighed. It's not all. I've seen this information, and it shouldn't be of much use. Then, what does the principal want? It's not good for us to go back to our countries now. Another person frowned. That's not right, young Mississippi. If you want to take us away, who can stop you? Chongqing frowned. She shook her head. Meng Rongrong thought for a while and said, Before coming here, I've traveled around the mortal world, but I've never seen an emperor like Yin Chuan. Yin Chuan? He's not an emperor. Chan Qing shook his head. Isn't he? Let's wait and see. Meng Rongrong smiled. Young miss, are we just going to wait? Chan Qing was puzzled. Wait? We won't wait. What's Yin Chuan doing recently? Meng Rongrong asked. Last night, more than 2,000 members of the embroidered uniform army left the city. Their whereabouts are unknown. As expected, this Yin Chuan is indeed bold. Meng Rongrong's eyes lit up. Young miss, where did the embroidered uniform army go? Just wait, you'll know soon enough. Meng Rongrong kept them in suspense. Early this morning, Yin Chuan led 100 members of the embroidered army and left the city. Looking at the direction, it should be the Star Luo Mountain Villa. Chan Qing said, Star Luo Villa? Is this the residence of the imperial tutor of 3 dynasties? Yifeng? Meng Rongrong asked in surprise. Yes. Keep an eye on him, Meng Rongrong said calmly. Yes. East of Yinjing City. The forest was densely packed, and there were many lakes. The scenery was extremely pleasant. This Grand Preceptor, Yifeng, really knows how to choose a place. This is the best place to retire. Lu Jin sighed. It's rare to see a brick road paved in the middle of a mountain forest. Hua Guang said in a strange tone. At the very least, you don't have to worry about not being able to find your way. Yin Chuan said with a smile. Soon, everyone saw the entrance of a valley in the distance. Beside the valley was a stone tablet. Star Luo Villa. A few household servants were standing at the entrance. However, they looked extremely proper. Lord, I heard that many of the household servants in Star Luo Villa used to be soldiers. Hua Guang said. Who are you? A household servant immediately shouted. Yin State's emperor is here. Why aren't you letting your master come out? Lu Jin shouted. Lu Jin, what did I tell you before we came? Yin Chuan frowned and said. Yes. Lu Jin immediately knew that she was wrong. Emperor? The household servant frowned. At this moment, a person beside him whispered, He is indeed the emperor's emperor. I saw him 2 days ago in Yinjing. Greetings to the Lord. The household servant immediately said respectfully. Yes. Is Grand Preceptor Yifeng here? Yin Chuan said with a smile. The Villa Lord is here. Does the Lord want to see the Villa Lord? The household servant asked. That's right. Yin Chuan nodded. The Villa Lord is old. 3 years ago, he announced that he won't see any outsiders. Unless. The household servant frowned. Chapter 162. How dare you? Lu Jin said angrily again. However, Yin Chuan waved his hand and stopped Lu Jin. Unless what? Yin Chuan said with a smile. Villa Master has not met anyone in recent years. Even when Yin Emperor invited Villa Master to his birthday celebration, Villa Master did not appear. In Xinghua Mountain Villa, apart from his servants and Villa Master's descendants, there is only one kind of people who can meet Villa Master. Oh, the best chess players in the world, the people who have reached the pinnacle of chess, can meet Villa Master after they have played chess with Villa Master and obtained his approval. The household servant explained. Play chess? Yin Chuan asked curiously. Yes. Villa Master is old and wants to do his favorite thing in his later years, which is playing chess. Right now, there are dozens of chess masters in the valley outside the manor, playing chess with a manor head or solving the endgame. If your highness is interested, you might as well come with me. It's just that. The servant looked around at the embroidered uniform army. Okay, I'll go with you. Lu Jin, Hua Guang, and choose 4 more people to follow me in. Yin Chuan said with a smile. Yes. Everyone dismounted. Yin Chuan and the others walked to the entrance of the valley. Lord, please. The household servant said respectfully. Okay. Following the household servant, Yin Chuan entered the valley. The valley was very large, and there were some exquisite pavilions not far away. Dozens of people in loose robes were racking their brains to look at some go boards. Clearly, these were the chess players that the household servant had mentioned. Some servants poured tea and water for everyone. On the other side of the valley, there was a narrow path. Clearly, there was a valley within the valley that could be entered. Some servants went back and forth to the valley within the valley. They're here. They're here. Master Yi's new chess pieces are here. The group of chess players immediately surrounded them. The 10 household servant who came out of the valley within the valley were quickly surrounded. Yin Chuan stepped forward. The group of Go players did not pay attention to Yin Chuan's group. After all, there were too many people who came here every day. When they got closer, Yin Chuan understood. There were a total of 10 Go boards arranged in a row. There was only one person sitting on each chessboard, as if there were no opponents. The 10 household servant who had just come out of the valley quickly placed chess pieces on the 10 chessboards. Master Yi, this is a brilliant move. Now that Master Yi has left, it won't be easy for us to place our pieces. Ha ha, you've lost. With Master Yi's move, you have no chance of making a comeback. The onlookers kept commenting on the 10 games of Go. What's the meaning of this? Lu Jin asked the household servant beside her. These 10 are the Go masters of their respective provinces. They came here to seek guidance from the Manor Lord. The Manor Lord fought against the 10 Go masters alone. This is already the 3rd day, and no one has been able to defeat the Manor Lord. They are tired, so they are resting in the surrounding houses. When they are free, they will come and play with the Manor Lord across the mountain, the household servant said proudly. Play across the mountain? Yin Chuan said with a smile. That's right. Look at these dozens of people. It's not just our Yin state. Zheng state, Chu state, Han state, Wei state, and all the other countries' experts have gathered here. However, no one has been able to defeat the Manor Lord. The household servant said proudly. Fighting against the 10 Go masters alone? Grand Preceptor Yifeng's Go skills are too amazing. Lu Jin said in surprise. Let's take a look first, Yin Chuan said with a smile. Yin Chuan looked at the chess pieces on the chessboard. Lord, in fact, the order of the chess pieces on each game is recorded. Would the Lord like to take a look? The household servant said with a smile. All right. Soon, the household servant returned with a piece of paper filled with Go stones. Every Go stone had a number on it, indicating the order in which the chess pieces were placed. Yin Chuan carefully looked at each piece of paper, and his expression turned increasingly grave. Chapter 163. When Xiao Chan finished reading all 10 pieces of paper, his gaze fell on the Go boards of the 10 Go games. He is indeed an expert, Yin Chuan said happily after letting out a long sigh. Lord, how is the Grand Tutor's Go skills? Hua Guang asked, feeling curious. Low-ranked Go players compete. They pursue victory and defeat, seeking instant benefits. Although their Go skills are strong, they are limited to skill and not the Go Dao. Middle-ranked Go players seek the Dao. Chess can nurture one's state of mind, absorb one's soul, and approach the Dao of chess. High-ranked Go players create the Dao, using momentum to set up the Go board, the mental state guiding the Go board. The Go board is the world. Placing a Go stone can mess up the hearts of the people. This Yifeng is already a high-ranked Go player. Unfortunately, these 10 Go masters are too weak. He lacks a true opponent, Yin Chuan said with certainty. We lost again. One of the Go masters lamented. I lost too. I lost this Go game as well. The 10 Go masters admitted defeat at the same time. How did the 10 of them lose at the same time? Hua Guang exclaimed in shock. That's because Yifeng controlled the entire Go board. Not only could his Go skills match the 10, but he could also accurately calculate the time. Yin Chuan said with a bright light in his eyes. To think that the Grand Tutor Yifeng's Go skills are so strong. Lu Jin exclaimed. Just at this moment, a household servant called out, All right, this game is over. Rest for 2 hours. After 2 hours, 10 more people can play against my Manor Lord. All right, the group of Go players answered. Is there a reason for this Go game? Yin Chuan asked the household servant who led the way. The Lord wants to play against my Manor Lord, that household servant exclaimed. That's right, Yin Chuan said with a smile. According to our rules, solving 10 Go puzzles is enough. The household servant said. If that's the case, then let's arrange the 10 Go puzzles in a row. Yin Chuan said with a smile. Ah, Lord, our endgame is extremely difficult. Many people can only solve one endgame in a day. The household servant said, strangely. It doesn't matter. Just set it down. Yin Chuan shook his head. Oh, okay. The household servant looked at Yin Chuan strangely. Just as the 10 people finished playing chess, the household servant quickly called out to the other household servant and quickly arranged 10 endgame positions according to the chess manual. What are you doing? Endgame? Another newcomer? The group of Go players looked at the scene in surprise. The 10 household servant each stood on a chessboard, while Yin Chuan stood on one side and watched. Young man? Who is this young man? What a joke. He can solve 10 Go puzzles at the same time? Where did this hothead come from? Lu Jin and Huo Guang both looked worried. However, Yin Chuan was not worried at all. He looked at the Go puzzles and smiled. He casually grabbed a handful of black Go stones from the Go bowl and quickly placed them on a chessboard. Yin Chuan quickly placed a Go stone on the second chessboard. The third chessboard, the fourth chessboard, like flowing water, in the blink of an eye, the Go stones were placed on all 10 Go puzzles. The group of Go players looked at Yin Chuan in astonishment. Is this a joke? Is he playing blindly? Does he have enough time to see the Go puzzles? Moreover, there are 10 of them. I've played this Go puzzle before. The first Go stone was placed like this. This young man is really lucky. Everyone was discussing. No one was optimistic about Yin Chuan's chances. Lu Jin and Huo Guang stared at the Go players as if warning them not to talk nonsense. However, the Go players did not care at all and continued criticizing them. Everyone, gentlemen, should watch the game without speaking, Yin Chuan said with a smile. The Go players' faces froze. Chapter 164. Naibo Studio playing Ifeng. Everyone, gentlemen, should not speak while watching Go, Yin Chuan said with a smile. The expressions of the Go players froze. Everyone knew that one should not speak while watching Go. However, at this moment, everyone looked down on Yin Chuan's Go play. Hence, they spoke up. However, Yin Chuan made it sound like they were not gentlemen, but petty people. Everyone's faces immediately turned red. Some of them even glared at Yin Chuan angrily. The 10 household servant did not expect Yin Chuan to play so quickly. After being stunned for a moment, he started playing according to the Go record. Smack, smack, smack. 10 white Go stones were played. Yin Chuan grabbed another handful of black Go stones from the Go bowl. Smack, smack, smack. Yin Chuan was no slower than the household servant. His movements were like flowing water, and in the blink of an eye, he played another 10 Go stones. The Go players all revealed stunned expressions. This person is really blind, one of the Go players said in disdain. However, before he could finish his sentence, he stopped himself. This was because he was the only one speaking. The others all remembered Yin Chuan's words. Watch Go without speaking. For the sake of maintaining their poise, no one spoke. After that Go player's face froze, he looked at the Go board again. His expression remained angry. He waited for Yin Chuan to be defeated before slowly scolding him. Clack, 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 clack. As the household servant played his Go stones, he gaped in shock. This was because Yin Chuan played his Go stones even faster than they did. Clack, 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 clack. As Go stones continued to be played, the Go masters turned increasingly serious. What's wrong? Is he playing blindly? Is he really solving the Go? The Go players looked at the Go board in disbelief. Yin Chuan placed another piece. The first game is over. It's been solved, a Go master exclaimed in surprise. The second game has also been solved. The same goes for the third round, when Yin Chuan placed his last piece. All the Go masters looked at Yin Chuan, but they were already silent. All right, let's clean up the mess, Yin Chuan said with a smile. Good, the Lord is good at chess. The villa master will be very happy to know that he has another good opponent. The household servant who was leading the way smiled. Retreat. The household servant who was leading the way said to the people who were dealing with the aftermath. Yes. Everyone quickly retreated. The group of Go players also came to their senses at this moment. Who is this person? Everyone began to inquire. Yin Chuan didn't chat much with the crowd. Instead, he found a chessboard and sat down. He waited for the second round to begin. The others discussed animatedly, and more or less knew Yin Chuan's identity. The Emperor's equal? He is the Emperor's equal? Why is the Emperor's equal so young? The Emperor's equal is good at chess. With their strength recognized, the crowd no longer dared to act arrogantly in front of Yin Chuan. Yin Chuan sat at a Go board, and everyone thought that it was natural for him to sit there. After waiting for a while, all right, it's about time. The second round will begin. As usual, the Villa Master will allow everyone to place their pieces first. A household servant called out, "Place my pieces first." Huh. Yin Chuan smiled. He picked up a black piece. He placed his hand on the Tianyuan position, at the center of the Go board. When the piece was placed on the Tianyuan position, it was as if a breeze was blowing from the Go pieces, blowing away the dust. Chapter 165. At this moment, Yin Chuan had become the center of attention. Aside from the 9 players, almost all eyes were on Yin Chuan's Go board. Divine Prime? How can it be Divine Prime? Someone exclaimed. Does he know how to play Go? His first move is Divine Prime? No one has ever dared to play like that before. What a waste. This move is completely useless. Everyone shook their heads. Lord, are you sure? Have you thought carefully about your first move? Why don't you rearrange it? The household servant advised kindly from earlier. Whoever placed the first move had the advantage. However, this advantage should not be wasted like that. There's no need. When I play Go, my first move has always been Divine Prime, Yin Chuan said, shaking his head. Everyone was confused. Always Divine Prime? What a joke. Who would play Go like that? All right. That kind household servant smiled bitterly. He waved his hand, and the 10 household servant quickly recorded the moves and rushed to the middle of the valley. In the middle of the valley, a waterfall poured into the valley, revealing a large lake below. A gentle breeze blew, bringing with it a pleasant fishy smell. Flowers grew all around, and many palaces stood tall. Birds sang and flowers bloomed, making this place look like a paradise on earth. Beside the lake stood a group of servants who were waiting on them. In the middle of a huge pavilion, there were 10 chessboards. The 10 household servants were setting up the Go boards. There was a small pier by the lake. At this moment, a white-robed old man sat on the pier. The old man had white hair, white brows, and an aged face. He held a fishing rod in his hand. He sat there quietly, as if he was in an ink painting. A middle-aged man stood behind the old man as he quietly fished. Grandfather, how are the Go skills of those 10 Go masters? The middle-aged man asked with a smile. The old man's expression did not change. He said indifferently, their Go skills are passable. The 3rd and 6th players improved their Go skills to a certain extent. Grandpa's chess skills have already reached the pinnacle of perfection. In the entire world, no one can match him. These 10 people claim to be chess masters, but even when the 10 of them play together, they are still no match for Grandpa. Furthermore, they don't know that Grandpa is actually playing blind chess. He didn't even look at the chessboard. He was fishing and playing at the same time. The middle-aged man sighed. Invincible? That might not be the case. It's just that our horizons are limited. Who can guarantee that there are no chess experts among the cultivators? They've lived for countless years, and their skill in chess might not be inferior to mine. A look of longing and a sigh flashed across the old man's eyes. No, I believe that even those cultivators are no match for Grandpa. The middle-aged man said stubbornly. The old man smiled and continued fishing. Manor Lord, the first round is 4-4. A household servant reported. 43. The old man said without turning his head. The household servant behind him, who was in charge of the chessboard, quickly placed a piece according to the old man's instructions. Second round, tie 4. Another household servant called out. 44. The old man said indifferently as he fished. Third round. Fourth round. Every time a piece was placed, the old man would not even look at the chessboard. He would quickly announce the placement of a white piece. 10th round, Tian Yuan. The last household servant reported. Oh, the old man was slightly taken aback. A household servant who had followed him immediately reported, "Manor Lord, the person in the 10th round has an extremely special identity. He is. I don't care who he is. Did he solve the Go game?" The white-robed old man asked indifferently. He solved it. Furthermore, he solved all 10 games in a short period of time. The household servant said respectfully. Chapter 166. Solving all 10 games at the same time? Ha ha, good. This old man has finally found a decent one. The white-clad old man said with a smile. Yes, for the 10th game, I will play 3 to 5. The old man said after taking a deep breath without turning his head. Yes. The placement of ghost stones in the middle of the valley quickly spread to the outer valley. In the outer valley, the top 10 Go players were quickly playing. Smack, smack, smack. The ghost stones were quickly placed. In the blink of an eye, it was noon. At this moment, most of the spectating Go players gathered around Yin Chuan. They could see the general trend of the other Go boards. However, Yin Chuan's Go board confused them. Our master, E, and this young man playing Go, the two of them are going their own ways. How is this a game? That's right, this chess game is too scattered. No, this is a setup. The two of them are setting each other up. The game is too big. We can't understand it. Everyone watched quietly. In the distance, another group of household servants came to the middle of the valley. They quickly placed Go stones on the 10 Go boards. I lost again. Sigh, I was too careless. This game is messed up again. What a pity. On the first 9 Go boards, the 9 Go masters threw in their Go stones and admitted defeat with regretful expressions. Everyone looked at Yin Chuan's table. According to the previous rules, all 10 games would be thrown in at the same time. Now, 9 games had been lost, and the last game was still going on. It was still going on? Everyone was flabbergasted by this strange scene. Then they all gathered around. Yin Chuan smiled faintly and placed another Go stone. Clack! He placed another Go stone. The household servant quickly recorded it and ran to the middle of the valley. In the middle of the valley, the old man's fish float trembled. Clearly, a fish had taken a bait. However, the old man did not seem to notice it. Manor Lord, all the first 9 games have been thrown in, and they have admitted defeat, the household servant reported. What about the 10th round? Where did the 10th round land? The old man asked. Up to 85%. The household servant reported. Up to 85%? It's actually over 85%? The old man was slightly surprised. The household servant waited for the old man to announce his next move, but after waiting for a while, the old man did not speak. Huh? The household servant was surprised. Grandpa? The middle-aged man beside him asked in confusion. One had to know that his grandfather had never thought about playing chess for so long. The old man pondered for a while and remained motionless. Even the fish in the lake stole the bait and swam away happily. 43%. The old man finally confirmed. Yes. The household servant quickly ran out. At this moment in the outer valley, Yin Chuan stood up. It's noon, we should go back. Yin Chuan said indifferently. Yes. Lu Jin and Hua Guang answered. Lord, you're not done playing chess. A household servant was dumbfounded and immediately shouted. He had never met someone who left in the middle of a game. How could he leave? The game was not over yet. Imperial tutor Yifeng and I have already arranged the troops. Next, the two sides will fight. Every move won't be easy. I'll have my subordinates stay here. If there are new pieces, inform me as soon as possible. I'll make my move then. Yin Chuan said indifferently. What? How is that possible? You're bragging. Master, he still needs to think when playing chess. The Go master said in disbelief. At this moment, a household servant quickly ran over from the middle of the valley. 43. Manor Lord, make your move. 43%. The household servant said hurriedly. 43? Yin Chuan looked at the chessboard. After thinking for a while, Yin Chuan made another move. After leaving behind 4 members of the embroidered uniform army, Yin Xuan led Huaguang and Lu Jin out of the valley. Let's go. Giddy up. Yin Xuan led the embroidered uniform army away, leaving behind the dumbfounded Go Masters. What's going on? The Go Masters were petrified. In the middle of the valley, Grand Tutor Yi Feng, who was holding the fishing rod, frowned at this moment. 46? 46? The old man pondered. Chapter 167. 3 days later, in Beijing, in a tea house, there were 2 floors. The upper floor had a cubicle and the lower floor had a hall. Sitting in the cubicle, one could not only hear the people downstairs, but also see the beautiful scenery of the lake through the window. Crown Prince Yen Wudi, dressed in an ordinary black robe, sat on the second floor, drinking tea. He listened to the noise below. Wang Wu, what's the latest news? Someone downstairs asked. A man in a scholar's robe was sitting in the middle, eating a bun. Everyone was surrounding him. Now, there were only 2 things happening right now. First, all the medical centers in Yanjin were full. I don't know what's going on, but a lot of people in Beijing fell sick all of a sudden. Wang Wu sighed as he ate a bun. Yeah, my second uncle was still fine 2 months ago. He didn't have any trouble carrying a bag of rice. He had never been sick before. Now he suddenly collapsed. One of them made an excuse. I don't know if it's some kind of illness, but there are quite a lot of patients. There are a lot of people lining up outside each clinic. My third uncle is the doctor of Baoji Hall. He said that he couldn't find the cause of this illness. It's a strange illness. Everyone kept talking. There's one more thing. The emperor's equal has returned. Wang Wu said after some thought. Emperor equal to emperor? Crown Prince Yen Wudi, who was upstairs, immediately became interested. Emperor equal to the emperor? Who didn't know? That day, I was at the city gate when Huaguang broke through the city gate with a single spear strike. 3,000 embroidered army soldiers. How impressive. Yeah, I saw it too. It's nothing. What kind of news is this? Everyone in the city knows. Everyone was discussing, but Wang Wu gently shook his head. No, that's not what I want to talk about. The emperor's equal has gone to the Star Luo mountain villa. Do you guys know? Wang Wu said proudly. Oh. Everyone was slightly stunned. Everyone knows about Grand Preceptor Yi Feng's rules. Even the Yin Emperor can't meet him. Grand Preceptor is nearing the end of his life. He doesn't care about power. In his old age, he only wants to play chess and do what he loves the most. Therefore, Xinglua Mountain Villa invited all the top Go players in the world, and countless national Go players came because of its reputation. Wang Wu said, Nonsense, Wang Wu. Get to the point. One of them said impatiently. The emperor's equal has gone, and he is playing chess with Grand Preceptor Yi Feng across the mountain. Wang Wu said, that's not right. Wang Wu, you're bragging. I know the rules of the Star Luo Mountain Villa. How many days had it been? The emperor's equal hasn't solved all the games yet, right? How could he play against the Grand Preceptor? Someone asked in disbelief. TCH, you don't believe me? The emperor's equal really played against the Grand Preceptor. My third brother is a household servant there. You don't know how incredible the emperor's equal is. He solved all 10 Go puzzles at the same time. In an instant, he solved them all. Wang Wu said excitedly. That can't be right. Of course it's true. My third brother was in charge of playing according to the Go manual. However, he wasn't as fast as the emperor's equal. The emperor's equal didn't even need to look. Clack, clack, clack. He solved all the Go puzzles. If I had known, I would have gone to look as well. Wang Wu said excitedly. Then what happened after that? Everyone's interest was piqued. After that, of course, he played against the Grand Preceptor. Originally, there were 10 people playing against the Grand Preceptor. However, the first 9 were Go Masters. They couldn't even withstand a single blow and lost in the blink of an eye. Only the emperor's equal is still playing. He never stopped. Even today, he still hasn't finished that game. Wang Wu sighed. Chapter 168. Bullshit. No one can compare to the Grand Tutor's Go skills. He won in 2 hours. How could the emperor equal king play for 3 days and 3 nights. Someone said in disbelief. Don't doubt it. The Emperor Equal King is awesome. He returned at noon that day, saying that the Grand Tutor needs to think before he plays. He will send someone to inform him when he has thought of a move. Then, he will make his move and have someone send the message back, Wang Wu said proudly. Wouldn't that be like the Emperor Equal King sitting at home and the Grand Tutor sitting in the valley, playing Go from a distance? Of course. Furthermore, the Emperor Equal King's Go skills are clearly no weaker than the Grand Tutor's. It has been 3 days and 3 nights, and no one can determine a winner, Wang Wu said. He's that good, someone exclaimed. Of course. I've also heard that none of the chess masters from the Star Luo Mountain Villa are playing chess anymore. They are waiting for the 2 of them to make their move every day. They are waiting impatiently. Every time the messenger comes to make his move, those chess masters don't even dare to breathe loudly. They're just watching, Wang Wu said. Really? Of course. Do you know the Go master from Yinjing? Wang Wu said proudly. Of course I do. That Go master only acknowledges the Grand Tutor. He does not acknowledge anyone else. However, after watching for 2 days, he no longer dares to watch. He only dares to watch after resting for a day, Wang Wu said. What do you mean? Is he tired? Of course, he is not tired. He said that the Go game is too big, and he feels dizzy from watching it. He can't hold on anymore, Wang Wu said proudly, as if he was standing beside the Go game himself. He's that good? Of course. This Go game stunned all those Go masters. How can he not be good? Who knows how long this Go game will last? Wang Wu said confidently. The Emperor Equal King is really good. While the commoners discussed the situation downstairs, Crown Prince Yin Wudi frowned upstairs. Go and ask what Uncle Wang has been doing these days, Yin Wudi said to a subordinate behind him. Yes. The subordinate quickly went downstairs and left the restaurant. After a while, he came back. Once again, he came to Yin Wudi's private room. Reporting to the Crown Prince, I have asked the people in the city. It is said that the Emperor Equal leaves the city early every day and comes back in the evening. Moreover, the gate he goes through is different every day. No one knows what the Emperor Equal is doing. The subordinate said, Oh, you didn't play chess? Yin Wudi asked doubtfully. Yes, it's just as Wang Wu said. The Emperor's pieces are constantly being sent to the Star Luo Villa. So you're saying that Uncle Wang is playing chess while going out to do something? Yin Wudi asked in confusion. It should be. The subordinate said respectfully. Inform me when Uncle Wang returns tonight. I'll go see Uncle Wang. Yin Wudi thought for a while and said, Yes. The subordinate immediately replied, Go. In the south of Yinjing, Yin Chuan led 100 members of the embroidered uniform army and galloped. Following a mountain path, the Fergana horses climbed to the top of the mountain with difficulty. Stop. Yin Chuan pulled the reins. Shoo. The 100 Fergana horses all stopped. Sitting on the horse, Yin Chuan looked at the surrounding mountains and rivers. Gradually, he looked at the bustling Yinjing in the distance. Lord, what are we looking for these days? Lu Jin didn't understand. Yin Chuan looked at Yinjing and smiled. I'm looking at the surrounding terrain. Yinjing might be our headquarters in the future. The surrounding mountains are extremely important. I have to know what to do. Chapter 169. What about the surroundings of Yin capital? Lu Jin asked curiously. Overall, it's not bad. Unfortunately, there are too few dragon veins. There are only 4 of them. When I establish my country, these dragon veins will definitely not be enough. I still need to find someone to bring over 100 dragon veins for the capital to form a 100 dragon worshipping pattern. Only then can we suppress the great Yin dynasty and leave a legacy for 10,000 years. Yin Chuan said, Yes, Lu Jin might not understand, but that didn't stop her from worshipping him. Da-da-da-da-da. 2 horses galloped over from afar. Dust flew everywhere as they passed. Oh, Yi Feng made another move? Yin Chuan's eyes lit up. Set up the chessboard. Lu Jin ordered the 2 embroidered uniform soldiers. Yes, the 2 embroidered uniform soldiers quickly took down the chessboard on their backs and placed the chess pieces in order. They placed the chess pieces on a large rock. Yin Chuan got off his horse. The two horses also approached from afar. Lord, the Grand Tutor has made a move. 2-2. The embroidered uniformed soldiers hurried over and said, 2-2. Oh. Yin Chuan narrowed his eyes. Lu Jin quickly placed a white chess piece on the 2-2 position. Yin Chuan sat on a large rock and stared at the chessboard as he pondered. No one dared to disturb him. About half an hour later. Good move. 2-2. You finally can't hold it in anymore? Yin Chuan said with a smile. As he spoke, Yin Chuan took out a black chess piece and placed it on a hole on the chessboard. Ping 44. Eat your 3 pieces first. Yin Chuan said with a smile. After he placed the chess piece, 3 white pieces were eaten. Go, Ping 44. Yin Chuan said to the embroidered uniform soldiers who were rushing over. Yes. The two quickly rode their horses away. Xingluo Mountain Villa, Outer Valley. A chessboard was placed in the middle. A group of Go masters sat cross-legged in the surroundings, all of them racking their brains for the Go puzzles on the Go boards. Meng Rongrong, Chongqing, and the other 5 had also arrived at the valley and were quietly staring at the chessboard. Meng Rongrong was mesmerized. Chongqing and the other 4 Jilu Academy students frowned as they stared at the chessboard. Young mistress, this chess game, their chess skills. Chongqing smiled bitterly. What do you think? Meng Rongrong asked. Chongqing smiled bitterly, shook his head and said, It's me. I underestimated the people of the mortal world. In this game of chess, whether it's the black or white pieces, I'm no match for them. That's right. Even among the students of the academy, his chess skills are among the best. Meng Rongrong said in a strange tone. Go. The sound of a horse came from outside the valley. It's coming, it's coming. The group of Go masters immediately got up from the ground and looked at the entrance of the valley with sparkling eyes. Because of this game of Go, the 2 embroidered uniform soldiers didn't need to dismount from their horses outside the valley. They rode directly into the valley. The Lord has placed a piece. Level 44. One of the embroidered uniform soldiers shouted from his horse. Level 44? The embroidered uniform soldier beside the chessboard quickly placed a black piece. Clap. When the black piece was placed, everyone stared at the chessboard. More and more pieces were placed, and the chessboard became deeper and deeper. Some of the entranced players stared at the chessboard as if they were possessed. Looking at the chessboard, it was as if they were looking at a whirlpool that sucked in the minds of the Go masters. One of the Go masters, by May, even had his face flushed red. He stared at the chessboard as if he was sucked into it. Level 44. Take 3 pieces first. The embroidered uniform soldier took the white piece that was swallowed by the black piece. PFFF. Bame suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. He fell down. Master Bai, what's wrong? The surrounding Go players were flustered. Bame withered and smiled bitterly. This old man actually vomited blood because of watching a game of Go. This game of Go is no ordinary game. I'm not even qualified to watch it. Chapter 170. The Dugu Sword Emperor's injury. The next day, the sky was still dark. North of Yinjing City. Hiya. Yin Chuan led a group of people to the peak of a mountain. Whoa! He pulled the reins, and everyone stopped. There was another person beside Yin Chuan this time. Crown Prince Yin Wudi. Hua Guang and Lu Jin reined in their horses, leaving Yin Chuan and Yin Wudi to look at Yinjing City in the distance. Uncle Wang's Go skills are indeed shocking. Shima Mountain Village sent news that 3 Go masters vomited blood after watching the game. Yin Wudi sighed. Them? They forcefully comprehended the game when their cultivation wasn't high enough. Naturally, their minds were damaged. Moreover, their minds were focused on Yifeng's white pieces. When my black pieces killed, they naturally felt it. The impact of my Go stones drained him mentally and physically. Yin Chuan said indifferently. I already witnessed Uncle Wang's Go skills last night. I wonder why Uncle Wang called me here this morning? Yin Wudi asked. I'll show you something later. Yin Chuan said seriously. Something? What do you mean? Yin Wudi didn't understand. It's going to be dawn soon. You'll know soon. Yin Chuan shook his head and didn't say anything. All right. Yin Wudi nodded helplessly. Let me ask you. When I took down the representatives of the 4 countries that day, other than Chongqing and the others in the sky, were you and the Dugu Sword Emperor also there? Yin Chuan asked. Huh? How did Uncle Wang know? Yin Wudi was slightly surprised. Could it be Yin Chuan who found out? But at that time, he didn't show himself. So how could he have found out? Yin Chuan smiled and said, as long as it's the Dugu Sword Emperor. What does Uncle Wang mean? What's the Dugu Sword Emperor doing in Beijing? Yin Chuan asked. This. Yin Wudi frowned and didn't know if he should say it. That day in the Feng Shui formation, the Dugu Sword Emperor was chasing after a Feng Shui master with a sword. At that time, he shouted poisoner. The poisoner didn't die, so the poisoner should be in Yinjing, right? Yin Chuan asked. How did you know? Yin Wudi asked in surprise. This poisoner is a scourge, Yin Chuan said with a gloomy expression. Uncle Wang, how did you know? Master has been looking for poisoner for the past few days, but he still couldn't find him. Uncle Wang, do you know where the poisoner is? Yin Wudi asked seriously. I'm not sure. Yin Chuan shook his head. Sigh. Yin Wudi sighed. At that moment, the first rays of the morning sun appeared in the east and shone in all directions. The sun is out, Yin Wudi said. Look at Yinjing. Yin Chuan shouted. Yin Wudi looked in the direction of Yinjing curiously. Early in the morning, Yinjing was shrouded in a faint mist. It was like a fairyland. The sunlight quickly dispelled the darkness and shone through the mist in the city. Under the sunlight, a faint green light flashed in the mist. The green light was hazy, but it only appeared for a short time. In just a few breaths, the green light disappeared. That is, Yin Wudi was confused. Did you see it? The green light that shrouded Yinjing. Yin Chuan said in a deep voice. Yes, I saw it. What was that? I've never seen it before. Yin Wudi was confused. That is the poison light, Yin Chuan said in a deep voice. Poison light? Yin Wudi didn't understand. Are there more and more sick people in Yinjing recently? Yin Chuan asked. Yes, I've heard about it. All the medical centers are full of people now. No one knows what's going on. Yin Wudi immediately looked at Yin Chuan. Chapter 171. This is a Feng Shui array. Someone set up this Feng Shui array in Yinjing and is spreading poison throughout the city. Yin Chuan said, the entire city? Yes, the entire city. Feng Shui poison is different from normal poisons. Some Feng Shui poisons are alive. This poison is still growing. Once it matures, it will empty the entire city. Yin Chuan said, empty the entire city? What? What do you mean? Yin Wudi seemed to have guessed something. 2 million people in Yinjing will be poisoned to death in one night. No one will be left alive. Yin Chuan said. Yin Wudi was shocked. I think you've already guessed it. This should be the work of the poisoner. Yin Chuan said coldly. Why would he do that? Yin Wudi asked with an ugly expression. I think the poisoner must be severely injured. He wants to poison everyone in Yinjing to death and extract millions of souls to heal his wounds. Heal his wounds? I don't understand. But Uncle Wang, these are 2 million lives we are talking about. They are all citizens of Yinjing. Since you have already guessed it, you should have a solution, right? Yin Wudi said anxiously. There is a solution, but I need the cooperation of the Dugu Sword Emperor. Take me to the Dugu Sword Emperor. Tell him that I have a way to find the poisoner. Yin Chuan said, before Yin Wudi could say anything. Suddenly, a voice came from the sky. You have a way to find the poisoner? The voice was filled with urgency. Ka ka ka. The Imperial Secret Army quickly knocked their bows and aimed at the sky. Yin Chuan waved his hand and stopped the archers. The Dugu Sword Emperor slowly descended from the sky with a long sword on his back. Master, Yin Wudi said in surprise. Dugu Sword Emperor, are you following us? Yin Chuan asked coldly. My disciple left before dawn, so of course I had to follow him. However, what did you mean by that? Can you find poisoner? The Dugu Sword Emperor asked anxiously. Yin Chuan coldly stared at the Dugu Sword Emperor. After a moment of silence, he nodded. How do we find him? The Dugu Sword Emperor asked in delight. Yin Chuan dismounted. Everyone followed suit and dismounted. Lu Jin, boil the tea. Yin Chuan said. Yes. Lu Jin replied immediately. He took out the spatial scroll, took out the table and chairs, and quickly boiled some tea with a small stove. Hua Guang ordered the soldiers to retreat to the side. Since you're here, it saves me the trouble of looking for you. Have a seat, Yin Chuan said. The Dugu Sword Emperor nodded. Yin Wudi also sat down. Soon, Lu Jin finished boiling the tea and poured tea for the three of them. I want to know why you want to kill Poisoner, Yin Chuan said in a deep voice. Why are you asking this? The Dugu Sword Emperor frowned. If it was anyone else, I would be too lazy to ask. However, this is Poisoner. That day, he was together with Shin Kuin Kuroha, so they were clearly on the same side. Rumor has it that Shin Kuin Kuroha was one of the murderers of my parents. How would I know if Poisoner was one of them? I might have a grudge against him, but I have my own principles. Grudges must be taken by myself. Thus, I need to get to the bottom of this. At the very least, you need to convince me to give him to you, Yin Chuan said in a deep voice. Are you confident that you can find Poisoner? The Dugu Sword Emperor asked in surprise. Yin Chuan's tone was full of certainty. The Dugu Sword Emperor couldn't help but be cautious. It's up to you, Yin Chuan said with a smile as he sipped his tea. Fine, there's nothing to hide, the Dugu Sword Emperor said with a bitter smile. I'd like to hear the details. Yin Chuan nodded. 200 years ago, I traveled the world with my sword, searching for experts to hone my swordsmanship. One time, I killed a ferocious demon. However, I almost died in that battle. I was severely injured and flew away from the scene. In the end, I fainted in a valley, the Dugu Sword Emperor recalled. That was the worst time of my life. There were many demonic beasts in the forest. If it wasn't for her, I might have died in their stomachs. Her? Yin Chuan asked. She was the daughter of the gate master of Chiba Gate. She found me and took care of me. I still remember that it was a valley full of lilies. When I woke up, the first thing she asked me was, "Are you hungry?" The Dugu Sword Emperor recalled with a smile. During the half year that I was recovering from my injuries, she came to take care of me every day. Although I knew her intentions, I was too competitive at that time. After I recovered, I took my sword and left. I wanted to continue challenging experts from all over the world, to hone my swordsmanship. You left just like that? What happened to her? Yin Wudi was puzzled. I told her that the lilies would accompany her on my behalf. Seeing the lilies would be like seeing me. I also promised that I would visit her once every 5 years. The Dugu Sword Emperor said with a shaky voice. He clenched his fists as if he was filled with regret. What happened after that? After that, I went to visit her as promised. Every 5 years, I would visit her once. She was also very silly. She kept waiting for me. She kept waiting for me. Until 20 years ago, the Dugu Sword Emperor trembled. His eyes were bloodshot and slightly moist. What happened 20 years ago? 20 years ago, I was supposed to visit her. However, because of a long-awaited battle, I delayed it for half a year. Half a year later, when I arrived at Chiba Gate again, the Dugu Sword Emperor couldn't control his emotions. Tears flowed down his cheeks. What happened to Chiba Gate? The entire Thousand Leaves sect was massacred, and not a single one was spared. As for her, she was nailed to the gates of the Thousand Leaves sect. Even before she died, she was still holding onto a bouquet of lilies. The Dugu Sword Emperor crushed the teacup in his hand. His face was filled with pain. Tears fell from his eyes. She didn't know how to cherish things when she was alive. Only after she died did she realize how precious things were. Yin Chuan sighed. I only found out later that during the 6 months that I was late, she stood at the mountain gate every day. She looked at the lilies and waited for me. On the day of Chiba Gate's destruction, she was holding onto the lilies and waiting for me. Her eyes were filled with anticipation and her heart was filled with sorrow. But if I didn't participate in that battle, this wouldn't have happened. The Dugu Sword Emperor trembled. He was sobbing uncontrollably. Yin Chuan and Yin Wudi were both silent. Seeing the arrogant Dugu Jianwang, shedding tears at this moment. The two of them didn't look down on him at all. They only felt sympathy for him. It was Poisoner? Yin Wudi asked with hatred. Yes. The leader of the group that destroyed Chiba Gate was Poisoner. 10 years later, I killed everyone except for Poisoner. This enmity is absolutely irreconcilable. The Dugu Sword Emperor roared. You chased after Poisoner for 10 years. Yes, I will definitely take revenge. If you can help me find him, I will do my best to help you with one thing. The Dugu Sword Emperor said. All right, Poisoner, I will help you find him. I don't need to do anything else. You just need to teach my nephew well. You just need to guide him with all your heart. Yin Chuan said. Wang, Uncle Wang? Yin Wudi looked at Yin Chuan in surprise. All right, I will let Wudi inherit the Dugu family secret. The Dugu Sword Emperor nodded. Chapter 172. If you can't find Poisoner, there's only one possibility. He's somewhere underground in Yanjing, and he's using Earth Qi to conceal his presence. Yin Chuan said in a deep voice. That's right. The Dugu Sword Emperor calmed himself down and nodded. He wanted to poison the entire city, so he set up a feng shui formation. When he released the poison, he also exposed a flaw. Yin Chuan said in a deep voice, What are you going to do? Set up the formation. Help me set up another formation. Using formation against formation, not only can we clear out the poison in the entire city, we can also quickly find his location. Yin Chuan said solemnly, I don't know feng shui formation. The Dugu Sword Emperor shook his head. I can do it, Yin Chuan said with a smile. Oh, all right, tell me what to do. The Dugu Sword Emperor nodded. Since you're a swordsman, your swordsmanship must be unique. There are 4 dragon veins around Yanjin, and we're standing on the tip of one of them. Now, carve this mountain into the shape of a dragon's head. The dragon's head is facing Yin Jin and roaring. Yin Chuan said, Under our feet? The Dugu Sword Emperor frowned as he looked at Yin Chuan. Hee, I know what you're thinking. Don't worry, I didn't know you were coming. It's just a coincidence that I brought Yin Wudi here to overlook Beijing. Yin Chuan shook his head. The Dugu Sword Emperor was relieved. Let's go down the mountain first. You can observe this stone mountain and then start carving. Yin Chuan said. Lu Jin quickly tidied everything up. Go. The group of people quickly rode their horses down the mountain. In the blink of an eye, they were already several miles away. At another small hill, the group stopped. They looked into the distance together. The Dugu Sword Emperor stared at the entire mountain and pondered for a moment before narrowing his eyes. Xing. As soon as the treasured sword appeared, a sword light immediately cut off a corner of the mountain. Xing. 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 A series of sounds of swords clashing could be heard as beams of sword light shot towards the mountain peak. Rumble. A large amount of crushed stones flew from the mountaintop, and smoke and dust soared into the sky. Thick dust billowed and covered the mountain peak in the blink of an eye. Rumble. The Dugu Sword Emperor didn't stop for even a moment as he slashed madly. Lord, the Dugu Sword Emperor acted so quickly. Could he have made a mistake? Lu Jin asked worriedly. Fast. For a sword cultivator, this speed is slow. He won't make a mistake. At his current level, the sword and him have already become one. Yin Chuan shook his head. Yes. Lu Jin nodded. Boom. After a final loud bang, the rumbling stopped abruptly. Who? The Dugu Sword Emperor waved his hand, and a gust of wind blew past. In the blink of an eye, all the dust in the area was blown away. What? Yin Wudi exclaimed in surprise. The original mountain peak disappeared and was replaced by a giant dragon head. The dragon head was as tall as a mountain. Its eyes were wide open as it roared majestically towards Yanjing. So powerful, Lu Jin exclaimed. Let's go. Hiya. The group returned to the top of the dragon head. Is it done? The Dugu Sword Emperor flew over and asked. Yin Chuan ignored him. Instead, he took out the Jade Emperor's sword and stabbed it into the dragon head's forehead. Xing. The dragon head's forehead was pierced. After pulling out the Jade Emperor's sword, Yin Chuan cut his finger and dripped some blood into the wound. Buzz! The dragon head mountain suddenly trembled slightly. What are you doing? The Dugu Sword Emperor was puzzled. Blood guide. I am not a feng shui master, so I need to use my blood as a guide to activate the feng shui array, Yin Chuan said in a deep voice. Chapter 173. Oh, the Dugu Sword Emperor still didn't understand. Huoguang, find a rock that's about 10 feet in size from the rocks that were cut off. Yes. Soon, a large rock was brought to him. Looking at the rock, Yin Chuan flipped the Jade Emperor's sword in his hand. TSK, 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 TSK. The Jade Emperor's sword flipped, and the rock was cut into the shape of a dragon's head. It looked exactly the same as the dragon's head that the Dugu Sword Emperor had cut out. Good swordsmanship, the Dugu Sword Emperor exclaimed. Yin Chuan pressed his finger on the dragon's forehead, and fresh blood stained the dragon's forehead. Send this dragon's head to the Yinjing drill ground. Guard it, and don't let anyone touch it, Yin Chuan said to the 10 embroidered uniform army soldiers. Yes. The 10 embroidered uniform army soldiers carefully carried the dragon's head away. All right, the first dragon's head is done. There are 3 more to go. Dugu Sword Emperor, let's go, Yin Chuan said. All right, the Dugu Sword Emperor nodded. Star Luo Mountain Villa, in the valley. A white-robed old man, Grand Tutor Yifeng, slept on the pier in a carefree manner. A few household servants were carefully waiting on him. Yifeng's grandson was also waiting. Yifeng yawned and woke up. Grandfather, you're awake. The middle-aged man immediately went forward. How long have I been sleeping? Yifeng asked. 8 hours. The middle-aged man immediately replied. 8 hours? I'm getting old. Yifeng smiled bitterly. Grandfather, breakfast is ready for you. Okay, I'll eat here, Yifeng said. Yes. Soon, the household servants brought in a large amount of food. Yifeng ate his breakfast and asked, Did he make his move? Yes. Oh, which step? Yifeng's expression brightened. Grandpa, you eat first then. Ha ha ha. Let's talk about it. His ghost stones are the best delicacies. Yifeng laughed. It's Ping Bailey, pressing on step by step. Yifeng's face suddenly turned solemn, and the food on his chopsticks also stopped. Grandpa, you'd better not think about it. After dinner, let's go look at the chessboard. You can play against the chessboard, and soon you'll be able to beat him. No, blind chess it is. I have 1 foot in the grave, and it was not easy for me to meet my match. How can I let it go to waste? Ha ha ha. Yifeng said happily. In the outer valley, fewer and fewer people were watching the game. The group of Go Masters no longer had the energy to continue watching. The Go Masters could only smile bitterly, vomiting blood from watching chess. What a joke. But that was the truth. Unless you didn't look at it seriously, as long as you used your heart to experience it, your mind would immediately sink into it until you collapsed. However, the Go Masters noticed that 1 woman and 5 men had been staring at the Go board all this time. It was Meng Rongrong, Chongqing, and the other 4. At this moment, there were no new Go stones. The 6 sat in a corner. First, young miss, I can't take it anymore. I'm getting dizzy from looking at the chessboard. One of them said with a bitter smile. This game is already far beyond your level. You'd better not watch it. Meng Rongrong said while shaking her head. Yes. That person said with a bitter smile. Chongqing also showed a strange expression. He said, First, young miss, I really did not expect Yifeng and Yin Chuan to be so strong in Go. They are so strong that only the great scholars of the academy can compare to them. Indeed, these 2 have very high cultivations. They are extremely rare in the immortal cultivation world. Furthermore, Meng Rongrong said with a frown. Furthermore what? Chongqing asked, feeling curious. Chapter 174. Yifeng is playing blind chess. Meng Rongrong said solemnly. Blind chess? That's impossible. Chongqing said in surprise. Blind chess meant that one didn't look at the chessboard and remembered every move. It was fine if one didn't make many moves, but now Yin Chuan and Yifeng had played hundreds of moves. It is indeed blind chess. When I left earlier, I went to investigate. Meng Rongrong shook her head. Everyone was speechless. How can there be such a monster among mortals? Changqing was speechless. It would be a pity not to recruit such a talent into the academy. Meng Rongrong suddenly said, "Milady?" His bone structure was extremely poor. Moreover, he was already 92 years old. He was already shriveled and old. Even if he was given enough resources, 10 times or 100 times more resources, he still wouldn't be able to transcend the tribulation. A single bolt of lightning would be enough to shatter him. It's useless. Changqing said. Useless? Not necessarily, as long as I want to. Meng Rongrong shook her head. Pills? Essence-boosting pills? But these pills are extremely precious. One essence-boosting pill can be exchanged for spirit stones and resources, enough to create 2 immortal state warriors. If we use them on him, will it? Changqing frowned. Waste? No, it won't. He's worth it. Meng Rongrong shook her head. Okay. The 5 people were envious. When this game is over, I'll go see him and try my best to recruit him into the Julu Academy. Meng Rongrong said in a low voice. Don't worry, milady. Yifeng has been searching for immortality all his life. Now that milady has taken a liking to him, it's his fortune. He'll definitely be grateful to be able to cultivate in the academy. It's his honor. Changqing said affirmatively. Meng Rongrong nodded. Yin Jin, drill, ground the bloodstain from the massacre a few days ago had been cleaned up. According to Yin Chuan's request, the 100 embroidered army soldiers placed the 4 dragon heads in 4 different positions on the drill ground. The dragon heads faced each other, glaring at each other. Yin Chuan, Yin Wudi, and the Dugu Sword Emperor stood in the center of the 4 dragon heads. This is, the Dugu Sword Emperor asked curiously. This is called the 4 Dragons Matrix. These 4 small dragon heads corresponded to the 4 dragon veins and were contaminated with the dragon aura of the 4 dragon veins. I activated the 4 dragon array, and the 4 dragon veins poured their dragon energy into Yin Jing, forcing all the feng shui poison here. If the poison of feng shui can't spread, it will flow back to where the poisoner is. At that time, you can follow the poison of feng shui and find the poisoner. Yin Chuan said in a deep voice. Good. You may begin. The Dugu Sword Emperor said excitedly. Not now. Let me wait a few days. Yin Chuan shook his head. Wait a few days? Why? Why not now? The Dugu Sword Emperor didn't want to wait any longer. The sooner he killed the poisoner, the better. He couldn't wait to see the poisoner. 1 or 2 days at least, 5 or 6 days at most. You've already waited for so many days. A few more days won't matter, right? Yin Chuan refused. The Dugu Sword Emperor stared at Yin Chuan and fell silent. All right. The Dugu Sword Emperor had no choice but to nod since he had a request. After sending the Dugu Sword Emperor off, Lu Jin asked in confusion, Lord, why do we have to wait a few days? Yin Chuan looked up at the sky and took a deep breath. Soon, we'll be there soon. Lu Jin was at a loss. Go to the prince's mansion and move all the daily necessities here. I'll be staying in the drill ground for the next few days. Yin Chuan said in a deep voice. Yes. Lu Jin didn't understand, but she still obeyed. Chapter 175. 3 days later, in Xinghua Mountain Villa, the valley within the valley. Sitting on the pier, Yifeng closed his eyes and pondered. His entire person was like a statue, not moving at all. Young master, Manor Lord has already been thinking for 4 hours. A servant said with an ugly expression, Have you figured out the background of the emperor? The middle-aged man in the Chinese robe asked. We have compiled all the information and sent someone to Yin Jin. We will report to you as soon as there is any new information. The household servant said respectfully, How can he play so well with Grandpa after running around every day? The middle-aged man asked, I don't know either. However, None of the Go masters in the Outer Valley dared to look into the game. Oh, all they do now is record the moves and replay the game. However, none of them have made more than 100 moves. This game will be passed down through the ages. It is normal for them to record it. The middle-aged man nodded. The Go masters don't dare to watch the game, but there's a girl who keeps an eye on it. The household servant said. A girl? Yes. I have sent someone to look into it. This girl is with Prime Minister Chongqing. She descended from the sky with Chongqing the other day. I think her name is Meng Rongrong. She is from the Gate of Heaven. The household servant said excitedly. Gate of Heaven? And she can fly? She is at least in the Qi state. The middle-aged man exclaimed. Yes. Remember, treat that girl well. Also, if she has any requests, inform me immediately. The middle-aged man said excitedly. Yes, I will remember. As the two of them whispered, not far away, Yifeng, who was by the lake, slowly opened his eyes. Collapse, it's going to collapse. Yifeng frowned. Grandpa, what collapse? The middle-aged man walked over immediately. This game of chess is about to collapse. If it's not me, then it's him. A general builds his success on the bones of 10,000. The great collapse this time, one side completely crushed the other side. I only have 3 positions that I can take right now. Which one? Yifeng pondered and said. Grandfather? All right, let's bet everything on this. Yifeng said with a cold look in his eyes. Go up 37. The household servant quickly placed his piece and went to the Outer Valley to report. Outer Valley. All the Go masters were waiting. He's coming. He's coming. The Go masters quickly stood up and waited for that household servant. Go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. The household servant placed his piece. As soon as the white piece was placed, everyone involuntarily looked over. However, at this moment, the Go masters did not dare to immerse themselves in the game. They only used their brushes to record it down. Only the white-clothed Meng Rongrong was staring at this move. Eldest miss? We don't even dare to look. What do you think of this move? Chongqing smiled bitterly. In the end, Yifeng staked everything on a single throw and went all out. Yin Chuan is going to lose. Meng Rongrong sighed. Is that so? Joy appeared on everyone's faces. This torturous game of Go was finally going to end. Yin Chuan is already forced into a dead end. He has nowhere to go and nowhere to run. He will definitely lose. Meng Rongrong said with absolute certainty. The embroidered uniform army quickly recorded the moves and rode out of the valley. Yin capital, drill ground, a tent was set up. Yin Chuan sat at a table outside the tent. Lu Jin handed him a cup of tea. Yin Chuan sipped the tea as he looked at the Go board on the table. Lord, you've already played Go with Grand Tutor Yifeng for 6 to 7 days. This game has already spread throughout Yin capital. It has already become a legend. Lu Jin said with a smile. Chapter 176. A good story? Yeah, it's a waste of talent for this person to be left in the mortal world. His ability to plan and plan has already reached perfection. Yin Chuan praised. Report. Old Grand Tutor, place your piece. Go 37. The embroidered uniform soldier shouted. Go 37. Lu Jin immediately placed her piece. Go 37. Stake it all on one throw. Ha 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 ha, I didn't expect. Yin Chuan suddenly laughed. Lord? Lu Jin didn't understand. He's playing blind chess. Yin Chuan affirmed. Ah, blind chess. That's impossible. Lu Jin said in surprise. If he were looking at the chessboard, he wouldn't have made this move. I've set up many times, one game after another. This new game is a combination of 10 games. It's extremely secretive. If he's playing blind chess, he won't be able to see it. So I'll make this move. I'll enter the 9-5, ascend the throne, soar to the 9 heavens, and sweep the world. Yin Chuan said excitedly. Pa! Yin Chuan let out a long sigh of relief as the chess piece was smashed into pieces. Lord, you placed a dead end. Once this piece is placed, we'll lose 20 black pieces. Lu Jin didn't understand. Lose 20? Remove those 20. Yin Chuan said with a smile. Lu Jin quickly removed the black pieces. As soon as the 20 pieces were removed, the entire chessboard suddenly changed. Although Old Slave isn't proficient in chess, he could see that the entire chessboard changed when the 20 pieces were removed. Everything changed, Lu Jin said in surprise. This time, you'll go in person. After placing your piece, be polite. Just say that I'll be there in a few days to request an audience. Yin Chuan said. Yes, Old Slave understands. Lu Jin said respectfully. Lu Jin was filled with excitement. Under the guidance of the embroidered uniform army, she quickly walked out of the drill ground. Yin Chuan carefully looked at the chessboard again. Yifeng, if a chess game could reach such a level with the vision of Immortal, how powerful would you be if your vision was expanded to cover the entire world? We're looking forward to it. Yin Chuan sighed to himself. Wah! Suddenly, a baby's cry resounded throughout the entire drill ground. Demonic beast, there's a demonic beast. A member of the embroidered uniform army shouted. Protect the Lord. Hua Guang shouted from the other side. Ka ka ka. The 200 embroidered uniform army soldiers quickly drew their bows and aimed at the sky. In the sky, a huge bat flapped its wings and flew over. With a flap of its wings, a strong gust of wind blew. Bats? It was Liu Gang's third senior brother's bat god. A few days ago, it had been injured by the shooting sun arrows and had fled. Today it had returned. Is it that bat? Shoot them down. Hua Guang shouted. Yes. The 200 members of the embroidered uniform army shouted. Bang! 200 arrows rained down from the sky. They were heading straight for the bat. You're courting death. A sudden roar came from the void. Bang! Before the 200 arrows could reach the bat, they were blocked by a wall of air and fell back quickly. Someone's here? Hua Guang's expression changed. At this moment, Yin Chuan also saw the newcomer. A man in a green robe was standing on the back of the bat demon. The man in the green robe looked down with a cold expression. Where's my junior brother? The man in the green robe asked Yin Chuan. Ka 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 ka. The bat cried anxiously. What? It's him? He's the one who killed my junior brother? The man in the green robe asked with a dark expression. The bat nodded immediately. Bastard, he was defeated by a mortal in the strength state. The man in the green robe said with a dark expression. You must be King Yi Mai's disciple. Yin Chuan suddenly said. Chapter 177. Tell me, how did you frame my junior brother? Where is he? The man in green robe shouted. Them? They're still alive. Go back and tell Emperor Zheng that I will release them as soon as I return the 42 cities that King Mai promised me. Yin Chuan laughed. Ha ha ha. Kid, do you want to die? There is a limit to my patience. Let my junior brother out, or none of you will live. The man in green robe said coldly. None of you will live? You two sure are alike. Yin Chuan let out a weird smile. What? The man in green robe asked. You will only listen to me if you are beaten. Yin Chuan said lightly. What did you say? The man in green robe glared at Chun Fan. I command the universe. Yin Chuan forced out a drop of blood essence from his finger and drew something in the air. In the blink of an eye, he drew a strange symbol in the air. Roar! The golden dragon in Yin Chuan's body roared. It faced the symbol that was drawn with blood. Bang! The symbol dissipated. At the same time, in the four directions of Yin Jin, the four mountain-like dragon heads that were sculpted by the Dugu Sword Emperor suddenly trembled. A drop of blood flowed out from the forehead of the dragon heads. Roar! Roar! The four dragon heads suddenly let out a roar. The roar was so loud that the surrounding birds took to the sky in fear. The beasts on the ground ran away from the dragon head mountains. Boom! A stream of golden light rushed out from the mouths of the four dragon heads. The golden light rushed towards Yin Jin. As it approached Yin Jin, the golden light became dimmer and dimmer. Eventually, it turned into a gust of wind in the shape of a dragon. It was as if four transparent dragons were crashing into the four corners of Yin Jin. Yin Jin, Crown Prince Palace. The Dugu Sword Emperor was meditating with his eyes closed. Suddenly, he opened his eyes and rushed out of the palace. For transparent dragons rushed into Yanjin. Roar! As he howled, a storm swept across the entire Yanjin. Hua 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 hua! The strong wind suddenly blew the streets into a mess. Debris soared into the sky. Smoke and dust rose everywhere. A large number of people were blown away by the strong wind. Ouch! What a strong wind! Where is this wind coming from? Why is there wind on such a sunny day? The surroundings were in a mess. Some of the small lakes even had huge waves. Oh my God! All the small boats in the lake were blown over. The wind swept across the entire Yanjin. He went straight to the Yanjing drill ground. What's going on? The azure-robed man's expression changed. It was like a gust of wind coming from all directions, rushing towards him. Rumble. On the drill ground, the 4 small dragon heads trembled. As they trembled, the area around the 4 dragon heads suddenly turned green. It became greener and greener. The fierce wind was blowing the feng shui poison in the city, and the billowing toxic gas was gathering, becoming thicker and thicker. The green-robed man who was flying above the 4-dragon matrix was the first to bear the brunt of the attack. In the blink of an eye, he was enveloped by the rolling green gas along with the bat. Ah, despicable bastard! It's the toxic gas. The green-robed man shouted in horror. Boom! A man and a bat fell from the sky. They fell to the ground. Boom! A large number of stone slabs were smashed. The wind came and went quickly. It disappeared in the blink of an eye, as if everything that had happened was just a dream. That's strange. Where's the wind? Was I dreaming just now? The wind is gone? The people in the city looked at the sky in confusion. Only the large cloud of toxic gas above the drill ground proved that everything that had happened was not a dream. Without the wind, the toxic gas did not spread. Instead, it suddenly shot up into the sky and shot towards a certain place in Yanjin. The Dugu, Sword Emperor, stood in the air. He looked down at the green-robed man and the bat demon, who were foaming at the mouth and were covered in green. The Dugu Sword Emperor finally understood why Yin Chuan had delayed for a few days. It was to trick the green-robed man. Yin Chuan had already guessed that he was coming. In order not to owe him a favor, he purposely delayed the feng shui array for a few days. Another human qi practitioner? Yin Chuan tricked another qi practitioner? The Dugu Sword Emperor looked at Yin Chuan speechlessly. Is he still human? Of course, the Dugu Sword Emperor only glanced at him before he chased after the toxic gas. The direction of the toxic gas was where the poisoner was. Killing the poisoner was more important. Chapter 178. At the Yanjin drill ground, cracks appeared on the 4 small dragon heads as they crumbled under the impact of the feng shui array. But that was not important. What was important was the man and the demon in the center of the drill ground. The man in green was covered in green as the poison invaded his body. He fell to the ground as if he was having an epileptic seizure. Even so, the man in green stared at Yin Chuan with eyes full of sadness and innocence. He was a Qi Jing expert. How could he be defeated by Immortal? I didn't have the time to make a move. I didn't have the time. The bat demon was only in the Qi Jing state. It could not even open its eyes. When the embroidered uniform army saw this magnificent scene again, they all looked at Yin Chuan with admiration. Yin Chuan stepped forward slowly. Despicable bastard, how dare you poison me? My master will not let you go. He will not let you go. None of you will live. All of you will die. The man in green screamed as he twitched. Slap! Yin Chuan stepped on the man in green's face. Woo-woo! The man in green's face turned black again. He almost fainted. The man in green was already prepared to be scolded and humiliated by Yin Chuan. However, who would have thought that Yin Chuan would kick him instead? A kick? When his foot landed on his face, it rubbed back and forth, as if he had stepped on dog poop and wanted to wipe his face clean. He had never been humiliated like this in all his years of cultivation. This blow was so deep that it directly destroyed the green-robed man's dignity. How many years had he been through this? The man in green cried. Guang and the others looked at him strangely. Crying? He was a Qi Jing expert, a true master of the gate of heaven. He cried because of the Lord of the Strength State? For a moment, the remaining lofty image of the immortal sect experts in Guang's heart completely collapsed. Master? Master my ass. Master my ass. The genie army looked at the man in green with disdain. Yin Chuan stepped on the man in green and said, "This kick is to teach you a lesson. Don't curse anyone you see. You should do it, not talk. The more arrogant you are, the more ignorant you are." "Bring him up," Yin Chuan shouted towards the distance. Yes. Soon, 3 prison wagons were brought to the drill ground. The wagons were covered with black cloth, so no one could see inside. "Lu Gang, someone is here to save you," Yin Chuan shouted at one of the wagons. Before Lu Gang could speak, a surprised voice came from one of the wagons. "Is that eldest senior brother? Senior brother, save me." It was the voice of the 3rd senior brother. "Senior, save me." The crown prince's voice. "Say something," Yin Chuan said to the man in green on the ground. But how could he speak when he was stepping on the green-robed man's face? "Oh, sorry, I forgot about that." Yin Chuan gently released his right foot. Third junior brother?" The man in green said sadly. "Ha ha, it really is senior brother. Senior brother, save me. I was tricked by Yin Chuan. He is a liar. Capture Yin Chuan and save me. Senior brother, senior brother." The 3rd senior brother said happily. The man in green was numb. In the middle of the prison wagon, Lu Gang's face darkened. He could guess what was going on when he heard senior brother's voice. "Yin Chuan." Lu Gang's heart skipped a beat. Senior brother, are you okay?" Lu Gang asked with a pale face. "Okay." The senior brother in green twitched and felt sad. "Take him away." Yin Chuan waved his hand. Yes. The 3 Jin E army soldiers pulled the prison wagon away. "Senior brother, save me, save me." The 3rd senior brother continued to shout. Chapter 179. Save my ass. Your 1st senior brother can't even save himself. Why would he save you? Guang cursed at the prisoner carriage. Impossible. Impossible. 1st senior brother is at the 6th level of the Qi realm, a peerless expert. You're lying. You're lying. 3rd senior brother screamed. Qi realm, 6th level, peerless expert? Every praise from his junior brother made him feel even more miserable. The 1st senior brother was filled with hatred. The prisoner carriage was taken away, leaving only the 1st senior brother in despair. "Did you see them? They're still alive. Once we get back, tell Emperor Zheng to hand over the 42 cities in the northern frontier as soon as possible." This is what King Mai personally agreed to. The moment the 42 cities in the northern frontier are handed over will be the day I release them. You're gonna let me go?" The 1st senior brother was shocked. Yin Chuan smiled. "Why would I kill you?" The 1st senior brother was petrified. Why would he kill him? The 1st senior brother didn't understand. Wasn't the reason why he was in such a pitiful state? But remember, don't even think about it. I have ways to kill you, Yin Chuan said coldly. The green-robed eldest senior brother's face, which had turned black, suddenly turned red. The bat demon has a special body. It should be able to recover from this poison quickly. As for you, this poison won't kill you. Go back and find King Mai. He'll help you, Yin Chuan said. Poochie. Sure enough, the bat demon could move again. With great difficulty, the bat demon stood up. But at this moment, the bat demon looked at Yin Chuan in horror. It stood up and jumped to the side to avoid Yin Chuan. Yin Chuan kicked the 1st senior brother onto the bat demon's back. Take him to Emperor Zheng, Yin Chuan said. Wah. The bat demon retreated in fear. It flapped its wings and flew up, but fell back down. It flew in a sorry state. However, out of fear of Yin Chuan, it continued to flap its wings. Gradually, he became more and more immune to the poison and was finally able to fly. The bat soared into the sky and flew towards the south. However, its flight was still very wretched. It flew high and low at times. It was obvious that the poison had not been completely cleansed. Standing in the square, Yin Chuan watched the bat demon leave. Why did the Lord let him go? Hua Guang asked in confusion. Yin Chuan said in a low voice, once the young ones are captured, the old ones will come. There's no end to this. Today it's him. Next time it might be King Mai. But if that's the case, we'll have to worry all the time. Hua Guang frowned. You're worried that they'll seek revenge? Haha. Do I need to worry about these pieces of trash? Yin Chuan said confidently. King Mai knows that he's here, but he's just trying to go back on his word. If I let him go, King Mai won't be able to go back on his word. If you let the Crown Prince of Zheng go, what about the Crown Prince of Wei? Hua Guang asked. King Mai of Zheng is an immortal state warrior. He seems to be related to my father and the Dai sect. Therefore, we have to show him some respect. As for the ancestral patriarchs of the other 3 nations, they are only in the Qi state. Even if they come to me, I have thousands of ways to kill them. Yin Chuan said with disdain. Yes. Hua Guang sighed and nodded. Suddenly, a ray of green light shot into the sky. Solitary Sword King, you're still haunting us. What do you want? An angry roar resounded through Beijing. Irreconcilable hatred. What do you say? Today, you will die without a doubt. Chapter 180. Xing. A vast sword light soared into the sky, slashing at the green light in the sky. Bastard. How did you find me? You can't possibly find me. Kill. In the sky above Yinjing, the Immortals were fighting. Everyone was shocked and excited at the same time. At the drill ground, Yin Chuan led the embroidered uniform army to observe the battle in the sky. Star Luo Mountain Villa, Outer Valley. The group of Go Masters was waiting. Meng Rongrong had already guessed the result, so she did not care. She only waited for Yin Chuan to admit defeat. Giddy up. 3 groups of horses charged into the valley. Whoa! Lu Jin pulled on the reins and stopped. A new Go Stone. A new Go Stone. The group of Go Masters said excitedly. Lu Jin got off her horse and walked over. Everyone made way for Lu Jin. Meng Rongrong waited patiently. After all, the game was already at the end. Is she here to admit defeat? Meng Rongrong looked at Lu Jin in surprise. At this moment, Lu Jin actually picked up a black Go Stone and placed it on the Go board. Clack! The moment the black Go Stone was placed, everyone in the surroundings was confused. What's she doing? Is she seeking her own death? That's right. This is a self-filling hole. Has he admitted defeat? The group of Go Masters asked in confusion. Something's not right. A Go Master at the side was reviewing the game. According to Lu Jin's moves, the situation on the Go board changed completely after she took out 20 black Go Stones. That Go Master exclaimed. The group of Go Masters looked over at the Go board that was being reviewed. How can this be? This. Mastery lost? A Go Master said in disbelief. Suddenly, all the Go Masters' expressions froze. They felt like a bone was stuck in their throats. What? Yifeng lost? That's impossible. Meng Rongrong, who was full of confidence, said in disbelief. He stepped forward to take a look. Here? How could it be here? How could it fall here? Meng Rongrong looked at the chessboard in disbelief. Go and report this to the Grand Preceptor, Lu Jin said to the household servant, who was in a daze. Oh, yes. The household servant shouted in a daze. Then, he quickly ran into the valley. In the valley, Yifeng closed his eyes and thought about the chessboard. Suddenly, footsteps could be heard from afar. Yifeng opened his eyes with a flash of anticipation. How is it? Has he made his move? Yifeng asked impatiently. Yes, it's the 9-5. The household servant shouted. Yifeng's grandson looked at the chessboard and placed a black piece. Ha! Is he courting death? No, that's not right. Yifeng suddenly exclaimed. Grandpa, he lost 20 pieces. Yifeng's grandson said. No, it's the 9-5. It's the 9-5. The position of the 9 and 5, the honor of the 9 and 5, the sovereign overlooking the world. What a sovereign overlooking the world. Grandpa, I lost. I actually lost. Ha! Yifeng laughed freely. What? Grandpa, you lost? That's impossible. Also, even if something is wrong, you can definitely turn the tide. Yifeng's grandson exclaimed. The position of the 9-5, the sovereign of the world, is unparalleled. I did not lose this game unjustly. Ha ha! Yifeng laughed loudly. However, halfway through his laughter, his body suddenly swayed, and he fainted. Grandpa, Grandpa, what's wrong? Imperial physician, quick, quick, quick! The middle-aged man exclaimed. A man in embroidered robes quickly stepped forward and placed his hand on Yifeng's pulse. After a while, he made a quick diagnosis. How is it? How's my grandpa? The middle-aged man asked anxiously. It's nothing serious. The Grand Preceptor has expended too much energy over the past few days and is just exhausted. He'll be fine after a good sleep and a few days of rest. The imperial physician immediately said. That's good. Young master, what should we say to the outside world? A household servant asked with an unsightly expression. After all, Yifeng had never lost before. If word of this got out, would... The middle-aged man shook his head and said, just tell them the truth. Grandpa has been indomitable all his life and does not care about reputation. Grandpa once said, do not fear defeat. Do not admit defeat if you fear defeat. Go and report this. Yes. Chapter 181. Starnet Villa in the Outer Valley. What? Master, he admitted defeat? Can't Master, he turn the tide? Master, he has never been defeated before. How could he be defeated? The group of Go Masters continued shouting in disbelief. Yifeng was a legend in the hearts of all the chess masters. Although Yifeng had always refused to admit it, all the chess masters knew that the Yin state had a chess saint, the chess saint Yifeng. However, the chess saint had actually lost today. No, it shouldn't be like this. The Go Masters reacted intensely. On the other side, Meng Rongrong kept staring at the chessboard. Bury my son? Yin Chuan actually buried such a deep pit? Meng Rongrong said in surprise. Eldest miss, what pit? Chongqing was puzzled. The position of 9 and 5. This position should have started to ambush Yin Chuan when he placed his 20th piece. It was left until the very end. It was the finishing touch. This piece was like a stroke of God. It was like the arrival of a sovereign. It swept the entire chessboard. Meng Rongrong exclaimed. A chess piece can sweep the entire chessboard? Chongqing gaped in shock. Meng Rongrong stared at the chess piece speechlessly. After watching for a while, Meng Rongrong suddenly looked at Lu Jin. Lu Jin sat by the side and sipped his tea peacefully. It was as if he had expected this, and his face was filled with confidence. Meng Rongrong slowly walked over. Seeing this, Lu Jin immediately stood up. Greetings, Senior Meng. Lu Jin smiled. Obviously, Yin Chuan had told Lu Jin to be as polite to Meng Rongrong as possible. I heard from Chongqing that Yin Chuan hasn't joined the Deus sect yet, right? Meng Rongrong asked with a smile. Yes, but soon. Lu Jin smiled. Soon? Then how does Yin Chuan feel about my Jiulu Academy? Meng Rongrong asked. Senior, what do you mean? Lu Jin was puzzled. I want to lure Yin Chuan into my Jiulu Academy. I wonder if he can pass a message for me? Meng Rongrong asked. Jiulu Academy? How does it compare to the Deus sect? Lu Jin asked curiously. Chongqing suddenly laughed. Haha. How can the Deus sect compare to my Jiulu Academy? Even 100 Deus sect can't compare to our Jiulu Academy. Let me tell you, my Jiulu Academy is one of the 4 great academies in the world. Even the people from the Holy Lands have to be polite to my Jiulu Academy. Lu Jin ignored Chongqing and looked at Meng Rongrong. Senior, are you interested in my Yaozhu because of the game just now? That's right, that game was earth-shattering. It's a pity for such a talent to stay in the Deus sect. He should go to the Jiulu Academy. Meng Rongrong said with a smile. Lu Jin's expression changed. Senior, are you interested in the Villa Master of Xingluan Mountain Villa? Yifeng? That's right. I want to lure him into the Jiulu Academy. Meng Rongrong didn't hide anything. Lu Jin immediately shook her head. I will tell the Lord. As for the Lord's decision, I can't make it. It's fine, you just have to tell him. Meng Rongrong said with a smile. Definitely. Lu Jin said in a deep voice. Meng Rongrong nodded and walked towards the household servant. Lu Jin narrowed her eyes and stared at this group of people. Men, Lu Jin said to an embroidered uniformed soldier. Eunuch Lu? The soldier was puzzled. You two, quickly go back and report to the Lord. Tell him that Meng Rongrong wants to steal from the Lord and recruit Grand Preceptor Ifong. Lu Jin said. Okay, yes. The soldier immediately understood the seriousness of the situation. Chapter 182. In the sky above Yanjing. Blood escape spear explode. Boom! A large amount of blood mist erupted in the sky. Within the blood mist, a blood-red light shot towards the north of the city. You escaped last time, and now you want to escape again? Where do you think you're going? The Dugu Sword Emperor roared. Whoosh! Dugu Jianwang became one with his sword and instantly transformed into a sword light that shot towards the north. Yan Chuan looked at the sky and immediately mounted his horse. Let's go. The embroidered uniform army quickly mounted their horses and followed Yin Chuan out of the drill ground. Rushing out of the drill ground, they saw Yin Wudi galloping over on his horse. Uncle Wang? Yin Wudi also saw the crowd. Yes, let's go and take a look. Yin Chuan nodded. Hiya. 2 days later, Lu Jin sat in a pavilion in the valley outside the Star Luo Mountain Villa. She held a cup of tea in her hand, and her eyes revealed traces of anxiety. Hiya! A group of Fergana horses rushed into the valley. It was Yin Chuan's embroidered uniform army. The embroidered uniform army rushed towards Lu Jin, and Lu Jin quickly put down the teacup in her hand. How is it? Lu Jin asked anxiously. The Lord brought some people to the north to chase after the Dugu, Sword Emperor, and the Poisoner. Although we sent people to chase after them, the Lord has already gone far away. We haven't caught up yet. The embroidered uniform army said anxiously. Haven't caught up? Then we won't be able to inform the Lord. Lu Jin said with an ugly expression. Yes, we won't be able to catch up in a short period of time. The embroidered uniform army said with a dark expression. No matter what, send more people to chase after the Lord. You must pass on my words. The Lord spent so much effort playing chess with the Grand Preceptor. We can't let outsiders take advantage of him. We can't let outsiders poach him. Lu Jin said with a solemn expression. Yes, I'll go and inform the brothers who are guarding Yanjing to hurry up and chase after the Lord. The soldier also shouted. Okay, let's go, let's go. Lu Jin cried. Giddy up. The soldier urged his horse out of the valley. On the other side, a middle-aged man in a luxurious robe was receiving Meng Rongrong and her group. Everyone, grandfather is waiting for you in the valley. Please come in. The middle-aged man said respectfully. Meng Rongrong nodded. The group was about to be invited into the middle of the valley. Not good. Lu Jin's expression changed. Quick. Lu Jin quickly walked forward with the 2 embroidered uniform soldiers beside her. Wait. Lu Jin shouted. Meng Rongrong looked at him curiously. The middle-aged man also looked over curiously. May I ask if you're going to meet the Grand Tutor? Lu Jin immediately asked. That's right. Grandfather is inviting this senior into the valley. The middle-aged man nodded. Enter the valley? Did he inform us to enter the valley? Lu Jin asked anxiously. Grandfather said that when the chess player comes, he will inform us immediately, but the middle-aged man was in a difficult position. The chess player was Yin Chuan, and Lu Jin obviously wasn't. Therefore, she wasn't invited by Ifong. Well, the Lord wants me to bring a message to the Grand Tutor. Can I enter the valley? Lu Jin asked anxiously. But the middle-aged man hesitated. It's very important. It's very important. Lu Jin said anxiously. The middle-aged man looked at Lu Jin and thought for a while. Finally, he nodded and said, Okay, come with me. Okay, thank you. Lu Jin immediately exhaled. Meng Rongrong was wearing a bamboo hat, but her eyes flashed with confusion. Lu Jin left one embroidered uniform soldier outside the valley and entered the valley with the other embroidered uniform soldier. Chapter 183. Inside the valley, there was a large hall with the words Soaring Hall written on a plaque. The four walls of the Soaring Hall were filled with bookshelves. Tens of thousands of books were placed on them. It was densely packed. There were some daily necessities around the hall. There were teacups, chopsticks, wine glasses, stools, and chairs. They were all in sets of two. It was as if it was the living quarters of two people. Yifeng, an old man in a white robe, was sitting on a comfortable chair. He was being served by a few servants. The old man was holding a small booklet in his hand. That's all. Yifeng frowned and asked, Yes, this is all the information about the emperor equal to the emperor. There are no omissions from the moment he entered Yinjin. Everything about him in the feng shui formation is also real, a household servant said, respectfully. The emperor equal to the emperor? Yinchuan? He's a mystery. I can't see through him with this little information, Yifeng thought. While he was deep in thought, Yifeng's fingers tapped on the table as he analyzed the information about Yinchuan. Soon, Meng Rongrong, Lu Jin, and the others were led by Yifeng's grandson to the Soaring Hall. Soaring Hall? Flying? Only high-level cultivators can fly. It seems like the Grand Tutor is also thinking about flying. Meng Rongrong smiled as she looked at the plaque. The middle-aged man looked at the plaque and shook his head. Senior, you've misunderstood. The Soaring Hall is actually named to commemorate my grandmother. My grandmother's name is Chun Feiqian. After she passed away, my grandfather couldn't forget her and changed the name of the hall to the Soaring Hall. Huh, I see. It seems that I've misunderstood. Meng Rongrong smiled bitterly. Lu Jin took a deep look at the plaque and said nothing. This way, please. The middle-aged man led the way. Everyone nodded. At this moment, someone also entered the hall to inform Yifeng. Yifeng put down the book in his hand and walked over. Yifeng smiled and walked to the door. Honored guest, please forgive me for not going out to welcome you. At this moment, Yifeng did not act like he was old, because Yifeng understood that it was impossible to judge the age of a cultivator. Perhaps these people were even older than him. Greetings, Grand Preceptor. Meng Rongrong smiled. Lu Jin greets the Grand Preceptor on behalf of the Emperor. Lu Jin immediately said, Oh. Yifeng glanced at Lu Jin in surprise. From Yin Chuan's information, he naturally knew about Lu Jin. Everyone, please come in. Yifeng led everyone into the hall. Everyone nodded and stepped in. The household servant also quickly brought in a large number of chairs. He respectfully placed the chairs in the hall. The chairs were divided into two rows. The left row had 6 chairs, and the right row had 2 chairs for 8 people. Everyone, please take a seat, Yifeng said with a smile. Meng Rongrong nodded and sat at the head of the left row. Chongqing and the others sat below her. Lu Jin sat at the second seat from the right row. The embroidered uniform soldier stood behind Lu Jin and did not take a seat. Everyone looked over curiously. The left row was full, and the right row was for Lu Jin and the embroidered uniform soldier. Why did Lu Jin sit at the second seat? And why was the embroidered uniform soldier not seated? Eunuch Lu, what are you doing? Yifeng asked curiously. I dare not hide it from the Grand Preceptor. This time, I came on behalf of the Lord. Therefore, the first seat is empty for the Lord. Lu Jin said respectfully. Empty for Yin Chuan? Meng Rongrong raised her brows, as if she felt that something was wrong. But she did not know what it was. Yifeng looked at Lu Jin meaningfully. He seemed to be deep in thought. Chapter 184. I won't hide it from the Grand Preceptor. This time, I have come on behalf of the Lord. Therefore, the first position is left empty for the Lord. Lu Jin said respectfully. Left empty for Yin Chuan? Meng Rongrong raised an eyebrow, as if sensing something amiss. But she didn't know what it was. Yifeng looked meaningfully at Lu Jin. He seemed to be deep in thought. All right. Yifeng smiled. Lu Jin nodded. Yifeng's grandson, who had led the way, also stood respectfully behind Yifeng. I heard from my grandson that you are seniors from the Jiulu Academy. Yifeng looked at Meng Rongrong and the others. That's right. This is the young miss of our Jiulu Academy. She is the daughter of the principal. Chongqing immediately introduced. Oh, Yifeng has been neglectful. Yifeng immediately said with a solemn expression. It's fine. I just happened to be there. When I saw the Grand Preceptor's game, I was filled with many emotions. Meng Rongrong said with a smile. Ha! That game was indeed the most exciting game I've ever played in my life. Unfortunately, I still lost in the end. Yifeng shook his head and laughed. Lost? That's pardonable. Meng Rongrong said with a smile. Oh, Yifeng said with a smile. At the beginning of this game, you started 10 games at the same time, fighting 10 opponents alone. You couldn't concentrate on the 10th game, causing your initial setup to be flawed. This is the first reason. Yin Chuan had seen your game record, but you knew nothing about Yin Chuan. You weren't as careful as Yin Chuan when you placed your pieces. This is the second reason. With your back to the chessboard, you fought the enemy with a blind chess piece. This is the third reason. Old age, unable to fight for long periods of time. Intermittent, unable to use all of his strength. This is the fourth reason. Even with these 4 losses, you can still play this game so brilliantly. Even if you lose, it's still understandable. Meng Rongrong said with a smile. That's right, Grand Preceptor. We all agree that your Go skills are definitely higher than Yin Chuan's. Chongqing called out at the right time. Everyone from Julu Academy agreed with Meng Rongrong. That's right, Grandpa. You're the best at chess since ancient times, but because of these factors, you made a mistake. If you play again, you'll definitely win against Emperor Equal. The middle-aged man stood by Yifeng's side and naturally chimed in. Yifeng waved his hand to stop his grandson from talking. On the other side, the embroidered uniform soldier standing behind Lu Jin was enraged. He glared angrily at the people opposite him. A win is a win, and a loss is a loss. How can there be so many excuses on the battlefield? Lu Jin interjected. Chongqing raised an eyebrow. You, Yifeng's grandson, Yin Jing, glared at him. Yifeng waved his hand to stop his grandson's impulse. Oh, I like to hear the details, Yifeng said with a smile. The Lord once told me that when a chessboard is spread out, it is a battlefield. The horizontal part is the sky, and the vertical part is the earth. When a piece is placed, it is the beginning of the world. No amount of regret or reason can change the course of history. A win is a win. A loss is a loss. It's like 2 people fighting each other. Just because one of them didn't eat breakfast, does that mean he can come back to life? Isn't that laughable? Lu Jin shook her head. Meng Rongrong frowned. Meng Rongrong could see that Lu Jin was really going against her. Yifeng's grandson also glared at him, regretting that he had brought him in. Ah, how well said. Yifeng laughed. Yifeng didn't blame Lu Jin. Instead, he was more interested in Yin Chuan. Lu Jin stood up and bowed slightly. Lu Jin is not disrespecting the Grand Preceptor. On the contrary, because the Lord respects the Grand Preceptor, Lu Jin respects him even more. Lu Jin just wants to tell the truth. The Grand Preceptor hasn't been playing chess with all his strength, and the Lord hasn't been playing chess with all his strength these days either. Chapter 185. Oh, Yifeng asked curiously. The Lord said that the Grand Preceptor is a wise man. I don't need to say anything. I'm sure he'll be able to analyze the information reported by the servants. Lu Jin said with a smile. With that, Lu Jin sat down. Yifeng looked at Lu Jin and nodded. That's right. Although I don't know what the Emperor is busy with these days, from the information, he's running around everywhere. He must be dealing with something more important. Yifeng is impressed that you can beat me under such circumstances. Thank you for your praise, Grand Preceptor, Lu Jin said politely. On the other side, Meng Rongrong frowned. Obviously, after Chongqing lost the power of the Yin state, he no longer knew what was happening in the Yin state every day. However, Meng Rongrong didn't care about that. After all, Meng Rongrong's following conditions were irresistible. Yin Chuan's chess skills are strong, but the Grand Preceptor's chess skills are also extraordinary. The Grand Preceptor is 92 years old this year. right? Meng Rongrong said with a smile. Yifeng nodded. That's right. His time is coming. So he spends his days playing chess to amuse himself. He's spending his last days in peace. His time is coming? Haha. I wonder if the Grand Preceptor has any last wishes? Let me see if I can help you. Meng Rongrong said with a smile. Yifeng's grandson's eyes lit up behind her. At that moment, anyone could hear Meng Rongrong's goodwill. She was extending an olive branch to Yifeng. As long as Yifeng opened his mouth, Meng Rongrong might be able to lure Yifeng into the world of cultivation. Grandpa, Yifeng's grandson whispered anxiously. Anyone could see his agitation, and his gaze seemed to be urging Yifeng to quickly agree. However, it had been several decades. How much had Yifeng experienced? Naturally, he wouldn't show his emotions on his face like his grandson. Last wishes? Senior, what kind of last wish can you fulfill for me? Yifeng asked with a smile. Yifeng didn't ask for the chance to live forever. No matter what, there was a skill involved. No matter when, he couldn't be passive. Do you know about the situation at Julu Academy? Meng Rongrong smiled. The previous generation's emperor equal to one-word emperor once told me about the world of cultivators. He especially mentioned the Julu Academy, the place where literature flourished, countless great scholars, the place where the world's wisdom springs. A word or action can affect thousands of sects in the world. Yifeng nodded. Chongqing and the others smiled comfortably. I wonder if the Grand Preceptor is willing to enter my Julu Academy? What about playing chess with the great Confucians of the world? Meng Rongrong laughed. Grandpa, the middle-aged man said excitedly. No matter how calm Yifeng was, at this moment his eyes flashed. Meng Rongrong had already spoken. Led you into the gate of immortality. This was Yifeng's wish for several decades. He took a deep breath and calmed himself down. Senior, don't you know my root bone? Yifeng smiled bitterly. Of course I know. So what if your root bone is poor? The cultivation world has plenty of resources. Your only disadvantage is that you're too old. Many of your body's functions can't be recovered. You can't pass the first heaven's lightning tribulation. However, you're already at level 10 of the power realm. I have a essence boosting pill that can help you enter the essence state. Once you enter the essence state, I'll personally lead you into the Julu Academy. In the Julu Academy, you'll definitely be able to unleash your wisdom. Meng Rongrong smiled. Essence boosting pill? Yifeng's expression changed for the first time. Chongqing smiled and said, that's right, it's the essence boosting pill. In the cultivation world, there are countless pills, but there are only a few pills that can resist the lightning tribulation. They're extremely precious. Most of the time, they can't be bought with spirit stones. Young lady got this pill by chance from the Dajao, sacred ground. As long as you swallow it, you'll enter the essence state and your lifespan will double. Moreover, young lady will personally lead you into the Julu Academy. You'll definitely be valued in the Julu Academy. You can't miss this opportunity. Chapter 186. Grandpa, the middle-aged man's breathing quickened. This was truly the beginning of the end of bitterness. Grandpa's lifelong wish was finally about to be fulfilled. Yifeng looked at Meng Rongrong. Although he was excited, he analyzed the authenticity of Meng Rongrong's words. This is the essence-boosting pill. You should have heard of it before. Meng Rongrong confidently took out a pill bottle and handed it over. The middle-aged man carefully took it and handed it to Yifeng. Yifeng looked at the bottle, and his eyes lit up. Not bad, not bad. Yin, Tao introduced it before. This is it. Even the steady Yifeng was no longer calm at this moment. Lu Jin's expression froze. She suddenly remembered. Back then, the saintess of the Dajao Holy Land, Mo Yushi, had asked Qing Long to give a pill to the Lord. At that time, when they first met, the half-baked Feng Shui master Ding Wugu had killed 2 silver-armored soldiers. The Lord had mentioned that the pill was precious. It seemed to be called the Essence Boosting Pill. Essence Boosting Pill? How about it, Grand Preceptor? Julu Academy is the holy land of the wise. If you go, You will definitely be able to display your talents. Meng Rongrong said with a smile. Thank you for your kindness, Senior, Yifeng said emotionally. As long as Grand Preceptor agrees, this essence-boosting pill is yours. Meng Rongrong said with a smile. Yifeng was about to speak. Wait, Lu Jin suddenly shouted. Lu Jin, what are you doing? Yifeng's grandson suddenly shouted. Yifeng waved his hand to stop his grandson from interrupting. What? Is there something else, Eunuch Lu? Yifeng asked doubtfully. Lu Jin took a deep breath and stood up. She bowed slightly and said, I know it is wrong to interrupt Grand Preceptor, but please listen to me. Oh. Yifeng looked curiously at Lu Jin. Meng Rongrong also looked over with a frown. The Lord told me to personally place the last piece. At the same time, he told me to tell Grand Preceptor that the Lord will come soon and play another game with you. Lu Jin said solemnly. Is that so? I welcome it, Yifeng said with a smile. The Lord said that he is looking forward to playing chess with the Grand Preceptor. At the same time, he has something more important to discuss with the Grand Preceptor. Something more important? Yifeng's words. Lu Jin took a deep breath and said, His Highness said that the Grand Preceptor is old and wise. He can see through many things. I hope that the Grand Preceptor will accept Senior Meng's invitation after His Highness arrives. Lu Jin thought about it, but did not mention that she had a spirit-boosting pill. She showed a bitter expression, unsure of how to persuade Yifeng. What? Chongqing immediately called out. What kind of joke is this? Yifeng's grandson said angrily. Lu Jin? What do you mean? Meng Rongrong said with a frown. Senior Meng, please forgive me. Lu Jin said indifferently. Do you think we can wait just because you said so? Yifeng's grandson rebuked. How could they miss such a good opportunity? Yifeng stared at Lu Jin. He could see the urgency on Lu Jin's face. His eyes flashed as if he was quickly analyzing everything. Senior. Yifeng suddenly looked at Meng Rongrong. Meng Rongrong was puzzled. Yifeng is old. I no longer have any extravagant hopes in my old age and only play chess to pass my life. Thank you for your kindness. I want to enter the world of cultivation. I really want to, and I am grateful for the preferential treatment you have given me, Yifeng said solemnly. Lu Jin opened her mouth anxiously. Evergreen and the others smiled faintly. It was as if victory was in their hands. However, Yifeng, have my own ideas. I am the king of chess, and I have never seen anyone like you before. For the sake of the purity of this last game, I want to wait until after the game to answer you. Is that all right? Yifeng said sincerely. Huh? Yifeng's grandson opened his mouth in shock. What? Chongqing and the others said in disbelief. Meng Rongrong also frowned. Her eyes were filled with surprise. However, after the surprise, Meng Rongrong had a hint of admiration in her eyes. For him to not be blinded by greed meant that this person was even more outstanding than she had imagined. Very well. The Julu Academy's doors will always be open to you, Meng Rongrong said confidently and satisfactorily. Thank you. Yifeng smiled. Thank you, Grand Preceptor. Lu Jin was also pleasantly surprised. After all, Meng Rongrong's offer was tempting even to her, but Yifeng was delaying for a game of chess? That's great, that's great. Your Highness, come back quickly. Chapter 187. After arranging for Meng Rongrong, Lu Jin, and the others to rest, Yifeng and his grandson were the only ones left in the soaring palace. Grandpa, why didn't you agree to such a good opportunity? The middle-aged man asked anxiously. Oh, Yifeng smiled at his grandson. If Grandpa had agreed, you would have immediately entered the Immortal sect. That Julu Academy seems to be a very big Immortal sect. The dean's daughter values Grandpa so much. With Grandpa's talent, you would definitely rise quickly in the Julu Academy. Yifeng shook his head gently. I wanted to talk about it after the game, but you could have agreed to the Julu Academy. It wouldn't have been too late to play Go then. Grandpa, I really shouldn't have brought that Lu Jin here. He didn't even say anything. Why did Grandpa listen to him? The middle-aged man said regretfully. No, he already said what he needed to say. Not only did he say it, but he also said a lot. Yifeng shook his head. The middle-aged man asked curiously. He only needed to show the attitude of a king on a par with the emperor. That's enough. I can guess the rest. Yifeng said with a smile. Yin Chuan's attitude? What attitude? That Yin Chuan is just a kid in his teens. At most, he plays Go extremely well. The middle-aged man said in disbelief. No, the Go game is different from other games. Great Go skills require a big heart to bear them. Yifeng shook his head. Although I've never met Yin Chuan, and even collected very little information about him, I can see his strength from this information. Yifeng said thoughtfully. Strength? Him, that senior from Julu Academy, would be able to crush him to death with a single finger. I'm not talking about strength, but courage, Yifeng said gravely. Courage? He brought 3,000 members of the Brocade E-Army into Beijing. Now, there are only 300 of them around Yinchuan. Where are the other 2,700 members of the Brocade E-Army? Yifeng looked at Sun Zi with a smile. I don't know. I've sent many people to investigate, but there's still no news. The middle-aged man was slightly stunned. Grandpa, you know? Yifeng smiled and nodded his head. These 2,700 embroidered E-Army members are currently doing something major. Just wait, there will be news very soon. Something big? What is it? Yifeng shook his head and did not explain. Grandpa, we shouldn't delay the people from Julu Academy. What if they get angry? This is a rare opportunity. Yifeng smiled faintly and shook his head. You might not know, but the new emperor is much more powerful than the old one. Grandpa, what did you say? Yin Chuan is more powerful than Yin Tao? How is that possible? The middle-aged man said in disbelief. It's true. Yifeng nodded. Grandpa, how did you know? From this game of chess, I can't tell. Yifeng said with certainty. I've already waited for dozens of years. It doesn't matter if I wait for a few days. I'm still looking forward to this Yin Chuan. Yifeng laughed. But, Grandpa, you're 92 years old. You can't delay it for much longer. If you anger the people from Julu Academy, Grandpa's wish for many years, isn't it? The middle-aged man said with a complicated expression. Yifeng shook his head and sighed. Yin Chuan is right. When a person is about to die, he can see through many things. But Grandpa, you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.